streamline this and get this shit uploaded within the week, I promise we'll see fucking way more views than anything. Just because Kendrick shit is magnified like a motherfucker right now.
Well, I'm sure we'll. I can probably get this out pretty fucking quick.
Like, granted, it's probably because the algorithm realizes how obsessed I am, but like, I've been recommended channels that have had less than 500 like subscribers. If they talk about Kendrick, I'm getting in my feed.
And I mean, those are some of the best channels in like takes.
No, I found some really good ones, and then and even some like actual bigger ones too. Like there's this one, the Company Man, this dude Justin Hunt. He's worked for like Complex. He's done shit. Like he's an actual journalist who's been in the game for a long time, but he's now finally doing his own independent thing. And so let me check. I want to say he doesn't even have like 100K, and I know that's crazy to say 100K is small, but relatively compared, you know?
Yeah.
But he started reaching out with a lot of other creators who are 50K and less. And they did a 4-hour stream where they were just like talking about like the state of music and like how rap journalism has been hurt just because there's a lot of clout chasing right now, and there's not a lot of people who do their homework. So to say, or like want to keep it strictly music. Like we've got a lot of unfortunately like the academics kind of type where it's the drama, and let's be real, human beings, we fucking love drama.
Yeah, and that shit sells, man.
Yeah, it definitely sells, but it's crazy because it's like at what cost though?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, definitely at a fat cost, because then it brings around from like the art and the nuance itself.
Like, you want to know what channel I used to really love and I've kind of grown to disdain? Trap Laura Ross.
I haven't checked in on him in a minute.
I mean, he doesn't post near as much now.
Yeah.
But it just got real gross to me in the sense that I started peeping, like, I know he's trying to be entertaining and he's a YouTuber, but, like, he's having jokes and throwing all this around. When he's talking about real people's lives, like, he had a super long video about King Von.
Yeah.
And all of the killings and stuff he did. And he's doing a lot of jokes and whatnot. And it's like, yo, he literally is a serial killer. Like, we shouldn't be playing light with that.
Right.
And then it was really exposed when he hopped on a podcast with Adam 22 and academics.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so you could just tell that, yeah, he doesn't actually care about any of it other than for his own attention, clout, money, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think, like, if you're going to... I'm not saying we shouldn't broach or talk about those subjects, because you should, like, but it should come from a place of respect.
You need to have some care when you're, like, approaching it, especially with, like, death of, like, real people and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's definitely something that you need to handle with more care.
And especially if it's something that's, like, doesn't come from your actual life, too. Like, if you're not about that culture, you can't speak from that perspective. Like, you're playing a dangerous game.
Yeah. Well, and that's why people get caught up in stuff, like, very, very quickly. You don't... Although, I don't know, like, I guess as long as he stays, you know, where is he from, England? As long as he kind of, like, hangs out over there, it's going to be an expensive, like, trip to go whoop his ass or something like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, you're right.
Like, you would have to say something wild for a motherfucker to be like, you know what? It's worth the $5,000 to go fly 24 hours straight. Give me the red eye.
Here's the thing. Here's the genius part from him. He's talking about motherfuckers who are felons and shit. It's going to be way harder for them to do nothing.
He's all getting letters like, Dear Slim, I wrote you, but he still ain't calling me.
Yeah, no, but I have noticed he hasn't posted near as much, so maybe he's kind of taking heed of that, and I hope maybe he's coming with a different approach.
Yeah.
Or also, you know what's crazy? Because I know we were talking about it at one point, What's the Dirt? He was a YouTube channel where his whole thing is he covers rap beef, where he breaks down all the lyrics and like what they're referencing and stuff. And he started off really beloved because like he blew up because right before, like I want to say like 3 months before the Drake Kendrick beef, he dropped a video where it was all of the sneak disses that Drake and Kendrick have been sending throughout their whole careers. And then the beef happened, and then so people immediately flocked to that.
Oh, to go get contacts and shit.
And then so he started breaking down, and when they loved him at first, and then he finally got to the Family Matters song, and people got hella pissed because he reached it, because you know how we all do it. We reach, like, do you remember when Damn fucking dropped, and I was going so fucking crazy, and I was convinced there was gonna be a second album?
Technically there was. It was in reverse.
Yes, but yeah, and I thank you. You my dog for validating
Which
me
is wild, because you and I were talking beforehand, well before, like, not to be the fucking hipsters in the room, but I remember us having conversations about how cool it was that, like, ideally you could, like, reverse it, and it gives, like, you know, a new story, and it's, like, kind of meant to be played that way as well. And a couple weeks later, everyone's like, oh shit, you know what? I think that you can put this bitch in reverse and it sounds dope. And Kendra's like, yeah, you caught me. And they released a whole fucking deluxe edition of the motherfucking album.
Yeah, exactly. But, fuck, I lost my laser line. We were talking, I got hyped by your validation.
Hella validation. Bazooka Shack!
We in this bitch.
We back, bitches.
Audio only, but that's okay. We got sexy voices.
Hey, you know what? We up in here. And you know, I'll have a little visualizer thing happening, and then in case we pull up anything, there'll be some visual happening. But I'll let y'all know when something's going on. So that way, if you're on Spotify and you're driving, and all of a sudden we're talking about, you know, whatever's going on the webpage, you can pull over immediately and look and stop your whole day for what we're doing, because we appreciate you, future Jared. Kendrick dropped?
Kendrick fucking dropped. So, Jay, you were the one who technically broke it to me. I broke the album to you, but you broke the snippet to me. Can you tell me where you were, what you were doing, how did you come across that?
I was at work, and I was gonna pull up. So I've been placing, like, my music and, like, projects on little, like, leak kind of things. That way I can, like, go back and, like, see them and share it with friends, and, like, not, like, and family, and, like, not worry about, like, it fucking up anything or whatever, you know, just, like, some side quest kind of shit. And so I was hopping on YouTube to, like, just pull it up and see how it played on the speaker at work. And I pulled up YouTube, and the first thing I saw was the GNX clip from Kendrick Lamar, and I was like, what? So I sent it to you, because I was like, yo, like, this just dropped, like, an hour ago. And so I sent it to you, and then all of a sudden, Dom comes back, and he's like, bro, you gotta check the Spotify.
Yeah, so what happened was, so you sent that to me, and I was busy at work, so, like, I didn't immediately look at it, because I was like, oh, it's a video, I don't know how long it is. So I'm doing stuff at work. I get back to my desk to print something, and I'm like, all right, I'll check out what Jared sent me. And it's just this minute-long snippet, right? It was like a minute, maybe it was a little bit longer. But, and Kendrick's just fucking rapping his ass off, especially that beat fucking comes in. And,
dude.
Oh, my God.
That beat was nice for the man.
No, and what was that line? Like, something about, like, dessert, and I'm tiramisu. I was
like,
oh.
Man.
And then, so I was like, all right, hold on. Let me hop on social, see what's going on. So I go on Twitter. Of course, people are spazzing out about the little snippet or whatever. But then, so I'm a part of, Twitter has a community, like, group things you can join, where those posts will be, like, sent to you, like, highlighted or whatever, and someone was like, yo, he just dropped a whole album. And at first I was like, oh, it's a motherfucker trolling, like, he's being all goofy or whatever. And then I went in the comments, and they're like, nope, it's on Apple Music. And I was like, wait, whoa, what? And then someone posted a track list, and the moment I saw the track list, I was like, you can tell when it's a fake track list, for the most part, I feel like, just off the titles.
Yeah, it'll be something like Stardust, like El Camino at 544 in fucking Chicago.
Dude, the first song, when I saw Whacking Out Murals, and it was spelled with a double C, I was like, oh, no. This
is real.
And then so I immediately went to Spotify. And, dude, I'm pretty sure Spotify was, like, crashing at first.
Really?
I went to put the first song on, and it played for, like, 10 seconds, and then it, like, stopped. Ooh. And I was like, oh, what the fuck, or whatever. And
hell of people were logging in.
That's what I'm saying. And then I was like, oh, fucking shit, this is real. And you want to know what's beautiful about it? Dude, I was having a bad day at work.
Yeah.
When that first happened, like, I had an order, someone changed something on it, and so I had to rebuild the entire fucking palette. And so I was just grouchy. I'm like, it's fucking Friday, man. I should not be dealing with this bullshit.
Yeah.
And then I found out Kendrick had... Someone could have told me my granny died. I would have still been happy. So with that, I think because it's only 12 tracks, obviously we're going to talk about some more than others, but I think we should just go down the line. Are you cool with that?
I'm cool with that. Let me pull up the list.
All right, cool.
What did you think about the first track?
So first track, I'm torn. It flip flops between that one and the 7th track. This first track, it's Whacking Out Murals as my favorite because he comes in very like somber and serious, and then when that fucking beat kicks in, it's just fucking wild. And he says a lot of shit on this fucking first song, like addressing and like I was telling you earlier, Whacking Out Murals. So he had a mural on Tam's, which is the chicken spot, or I don't know if it's chicken, but like restaurant that he was shouting out and is in the Not Like Us video, and someone like defaced it and all of that. And that happened like November 11th, I believe. And he dropped this on the 22nd. And literally in the song, he said, yesterday someone just whacked out my mural. So the song was written presumably less than 2 weeks. And so I love that. And so it makes me wonder, even to a degree, how much of this album was like necessarily planned, or if this was just Kendrick keeping receipts, because he clearly has been paying attention. Like, we like to assume he's some fucking hermit who's off, doing his own thing, doing push-ups, praying with God, whatever. But whether it's him himself or someone else, he's clearly hearing what fucking people are saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it was so quick on social media, and that's something that's like really prevalent with today's. Like, we're getting news quicker than like what news could like report on, because the people are around and seeing.
Mm-hmm. Which also, side note, someone said, and it's hard to disagree, he might have the goated best consecutive Twitter posts, because his last 5 posts have been diss track, watch the party die, Super Bowl
album.
Like, what the fuck? Like, he's creating shockwaves without fucking doing any of these antics or like promo as we think is normally needed.
Right.
And it's just like, no, the art just speaks for its fucking self. But to dwell back into the song, so one thing I really wanted to highlight is, so did you catch that bar he had about Wayne?
So yes, I did, because he was talking about he hadn't gotten congratulated and Super Bowl in New Orleans. So the bar, but what was the exact bar?
So it was let's see if I can get it right. I've listened to this fucking album 6 times. Yeah, you might have to pull it up, but it was something like I used to bump the Carter 3, always had the Rolly down or whatever, and my accomplishments, I guess, let Wayne down. That's not perfect, but that's more or less. Let's get the exact lyrics, because I don't want to fucking put the disrespect, because it's phenomenal. But I personally don't think it was necessarily a diss, because it was facts in the sense that like his success got Wayne kind of in a twist. Like, I don't think that's capping to say, because Wayne clearly felt a type of way. For him to come out and say that it was taken from him. And to be fair, I don't know what was behind closed doors. Maybe he had a under the table fucking deal, like, yeah, hey, you're going to do the Super Bowl, blah, 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 then this shit happened. Who knows? But that's definitely not Kendrick's fault. And it kind of shows a similarity, I think, between Wayne and Drake of playing victim. Because, like, no one was out to hurt you. I don't think Kendrick was trying to do anything super fucking crazy. Like, he was just... Would you fucking turn down being offered to perform at the Super Bowl? Hell no. You wouldn't be like, oh, no, it deserves to be this guy just because he's from there. That makes no sense to me. That's just fucking silly. Oh, is it a bitch to find these lyrics?
No, I got the lyrics. They're right here. It's towards the end, right?
No. It's kind of...
Oh, it is.
Used to bump the Carter 3. I held my Rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. And I don't think that's that crazy. But so what's crazy with that? So I purposely didn't say shit. I held this out. Did you know Lil Wayne responded today?
Like how?
Not in a song. No.
Oh, word.
In a post.
What did he say?
I'm just gonna paraphrase. It's not worth bringing up the exact quote, but Wayne basically being like, "Oh, I promise, no one wants destruction from me, but I'll bring it if needed," or whatever. And I just thought that was funny because I love Lil Wayne, one of the GOATs, definitely a top tier lyricist. He is not a battle rapper in the slightest sense. Like, do you know or even remember the one single diss line he had towards Pusha T?
Nah, what was it?
It was Pusha T got his head in his ass. I'm gonna give him a headbutt. Yeah, funny, but like that's it. That's what you got. So like, I don't think Wayne wants to be in. And then I think he had one like towards Jay-Z about something about like, I'll put a 4-4 in you and I'll be out by the time I'm 44 or something. And I was like, okay, that's kind of good. But that again, that's just not Lil Wayne's forte, and especially now, he's not in his prime. He doesn't want to do that. I'm sure it was just him, rapper pride. Like, you can't act like, oh, I'm not going to say nothing. But then later down, did you catch the Snoop line?
I saw something. Let me see.
It was like, I saw Snoop post TaylorMade. I prayed it was the edibles. Something. I had to let it go. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. It was only right for me to let it go. And Snoop also responded, but he took it way more in stride and was like, Kendrick Lamar, West Coast King, blah, blah, blah. You're right. It was the edibles. So I don't know. Some people are saying he's like copping a plea or whatever. I think just Snoop is not taking any of it serious. He doesn't care. Like, none of it really affects him like that. His status is already cemented. But I did appreciate that Kendrick took a moment to acknowledge a lot of that shit. It, like, not just let shit slide because they are legends, you know? Because that is kind of weird. Like, I don't know if I would feel some type of way about, like, the guy who literally crowned you posting the other dude's diss that you felt was very distasteful. Oh, yeah, and then, so that's the other line. Won the Super Bowl and Nas was the only one to congratulate me. And I thought that was interesting. And he wasn't the only one. Like, there were a lot of people, but it was mainly West Coast, smaller artists or, like, people directly affiliated with Kendrick. But a lot of his peers, they did not acknowledge him like that. I will say Rihanna also acknowledged him. He should have said that.
Well, and I wonder how many people congratulated him, like, in private. And maybe he was only speaking towards, like, the people on a certain level.
Yeah, definitely for sure. But he definitely took notice that there were obviously a lot of people who were not.
Yeah. Talking about it. Saying, yo, here's your flowers, bro.
Now, my question with that, though, is do you think Lil Wayne had a right to feel the way he did? About that he wasn't selected for the Super Bowl?
I'd be tight. I'd be tight with Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? If I was Lil Wayne and like, dude, if I was like one of the biggest artists out of a place, like if I was like the biggest artist out of Denver and the Super Bowl was here and someone else was like selected and I had this huge long like legacy here, yeah, I'd be pressed.
I guess I get it, but part of that I think is a lot ego because at the end of the day you have to look at it from a business standpoint. And
yeah, but
Kendrick
also
had the year he deserved.
He had
clearly.
the year, yeah, but also like Lil Wayne has like some phenomenal fucking hits, bro. Like,
okay, but
you know what I mean?
Hits that he could perform at the Super Bowl that are family friendly. He's gonna have to edit a lot. He can't play Lollipop.
Yeah, he could.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the clean version still slaps. All right, you know what? That's fair enough, but also like they had like Snoop Dogg and Eminem, 50 Cent and like Dr. Dre. Like, so it's not, as long as they have like, and Kendrick Lamar was there too.
He was. But he also literally edited out the line, we don't love the popo or something like that.
Yeah, I bet you NFL was like, hey, this one.
Well, especially because Colin Kaepernick, like a lot of all that, they were not trying to add to that controversy. But I can agree, and especially like I said, if there was shit done behind the scenes, we have no idea if there was. Because let's be real, picking out who's for the Super Bowl, they don't just plan that in the last 6 months,
Right.
So maybe he was like one of the considerations, and then Kendrick just stole the show, which that happens sometimes. Sometimes you get outshone. But I agree with that to a degree, but also I understand Kendrick being kind of hurt. Like, what the fuck? Why is everyone mad?
Yeah.
Like, I just did something no one else did. So other than that, I love the energy that he was just coming on this song with. Like, you could tell he was just like pissed.
Yeah. That motherfucking fire was in his goddamn soul.
Yeah.
I am stoked that we finally got a full song out of a motherfucking snippet.
Oh my god, yes. So the next song, what's it called again?
Squabble
Up. Yeah. And I remember you got thrown for a loop because you didn't think this song would have been it. You thought it was going to be reincarnated that this song came on just because he literally says, I'm reincarnated.
Yeah, so I assumed.
You know what's weird? I've seen a weird amount of hate for this song a little bit now that it came out, though.
Really?
Well, just because, like, I will say the one thing I don't like about this song as much, I love the song overall, is he does have that, like, middle part where he's like, hold up, wait, like, where he's kind of doing, like, that, like, chanting call sort of thing. And it kind of was a weird break from him just, like, flowing on it and whatnot. And so it wasn't what I expected from when I heard the snippet. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I loved it, and I'm glad that we fucking you're right. Actually got a snippet because didn't he do that on not damn I want to say on To Pimp a Butterfly that he had a snippet, and that song never came out. And then also what's interesting is that snippet that you sent me initially. That snippet's not on this album.
So you think there's another album on the way?
Oh. I mean, I don't know if we wanted to get into it right now, but yes.
We may as well.
Okay, so there's a couple reasons why I think he has another album on the way. So first off, this broke from his tradition in the sense that while I love this whole album, it's not like a high concept where like everything's layered and connected together like he normally does. He dropped the Heart Part 6 on here, or Heart Part 6 on here, and normally when he does his Heart series, that comes out before the album. It's never on the album. So I think that's something. And then on top of it, so it's called GNX. I guess that's the car or whatever that's in it. But in the snippet that you sent me, there's 2 cars. And then on top of that, there's been a lot of his affiliates, that have been posting or whatever, like, more to come. And like they're being very vague with it. But it seems like there's still more shit about to come out. So I think this was kind of almost... There's some people even calling it a mixtape, and I don't like that. Like, no, people have lost the understanding. Words have meaning. A mixtape's supposed to be you're rapping over other people's fucking instrument. At least that's in my mind what a mixtape is. So it's a fucking album. It's just, it's kind of like his Untitled Unmastered for whatever this, in my theory, upcoming. But again, I said the same shit with Damn, so I might be a boy crying wolf who's just greedy. And so if he doesn't come out with another album, I don't want people to be disappointed. Because this man practically came out with a fucking mini EP of disses and then just dropped 12 tracks too. So he's given us a lot, especially compared to what Kendrick normally puts out in a year. But I'm just saying, if something comes out before or after the Super Bowl, don't be surprised.
You heard it first here. Bazooka Shack! Cheers, brother.
Cheers. So happy, man. So this next song, though, unless, do you have anything else you want to say on Squabble Up?
It was cool that we I got the full song, and instead of it just being like lost track. I really like the energy that was coming up through. Yeah, I was very surprised because I really thought it was gonna be reincarnated that the one was on because he's like reincarnated, you know. But yeah, no, I love this shit. How'd you feel about Luther?
So Luther is actually probably my least favorite song on the album, and it's not that it's a bad song. It's a good song. It features SZA. There might be another vocalist on there too that I didn't recognize.
Yeah, I was a little bummed that the feature list wasn't predominant on the
that
like
part was
actual track list. You know,
no, especially because I think the only way like not putting the names is if they're big names, so it's a surprise. I like that.
Yeah,
but especially because this album had other than SZA and Roddy Ricch, let's be honest, a lot of underground rappers.
Yeah,
more so to say. So then I want the name, so that way I don't have to go to the credits and then search the name if I want to check out more of their music.
Right.
Like that part I don't love, but I think it's just Kendrick's a mysterious ass motherfucker, so like wants to surprise you on everything. But so yeah, this one is definitely Luther is definitely the more R&B kind of style of song, you know, of course. I mean, it has SZA on it. And that's just not my vibe personally. It's not a bad song by any fucking means. It's just there's not a lot of R&B I personally care for.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a cool track, and it definitely had its place. I will say though, I think my favorite song off the first listen, that like really hit me was "Man at the Garden."
Dude,
I really like the song. I thought it was very poetic and like very like honest.
Apparently, it's an interpolation of One Mic by Nas.
Oh,
which makes sense because when it first came on, I was like, oh yeah, this is a very Nas kind of like flow and style. And what I think is really beautiful about it is like comparing Kendrick's perspective on this song compared to how he was on songs like You and I. Like, where, like, he's unsure if he's worthy of this spot and what he has with it and not ready to take it. Compared to this song where he's like, I deserve it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, like, very powerful.
Yeah, and that's something I love that throughout the album. It felt like there were a lot of different aspects of things and projects that he's done before that were relevant in this album, too. Like there's definitely some like a little bit like Good Kid, Mad City kind of vibes, but and definitely a lot of like To Pimp a Butterfly kind of vibes still mixed in there, but like with the new style, but still searching through that nuance of oneself. And there's like some vibes of like Damn in there too, like some like the energy that was like kind of coming through, and like how like some of these processes were kind of like followed with. It gave it like a really cool energy.
I totally agree, and one thing I feel, especially that you see in this album, is I don't want to say he was never confident before, because he was obviously confident, but like
right,
100% confident. Like he is at peace with himself, is what this feels like. He needed Mr. Morale to go through, and now he's at peace that he's just gonna say what he's gonna fucking say.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's cleared out a lot of like the story, the thing that's been weighing on him, the highs, the lows. And things like that. Now we're getting like the nowism of him, of like the hero's journey.
Mm-hmm. And I don't remember exactly what song on this album he says it, but he even has a line where he's like, I did all that for the fam, now I'm doing it for Kendrick.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's beautiful to me. Because like that's the most freeing thing you can do is create art just for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not worrying how other people interpret it or being like, oh, that's not a party song. I can't dance to this.
Yeah.
I can't get jiggy.
And then you get stuck kind of like chasing a dragon when you're trying to play to the audience.
Well, no,
in that kind of sense.
I'm sorry, and I'm a part of it because I'm also the audience. The audience is fucking stupid.
We don't know what we want.
Exactly.
We really don't.
We say what we think we want, and then they give it to us, and we're like, that's not what I want.
Right. Well, we saw a lot of that in Eminem's Death of Slim Shady Coup de Grace, because everyone was like, "Oh, we want Shady back," and he's like, "All right, like here's Shady like in this new context," and everyone was like, "Ah, that's not the Shady that we want." It's like, okay, what did you really want? What do you really want? You want the man to go fucking back on drugs and be writing some crazy ass shit? Then everyone would be talking like, "Oh, like you need to be more mature." He's already talked about this whole struggle.
Right.
Like if you like those songs, go listen to those songs.
Right. Or it's like people mad that Andre 3000 did a flute album instead of like rapping. And
Right.
he's like, what do you want me to rap about?
Right. Well, and then he expanded on it too, like, dude, like, what do you want me to rap about? And also, like, this is like the scene of like the things going on. He's like, I was just putting my toes in to see if anything had changed, and it hasn't, and now I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Like, he had stuff, and he was thinking about putting out stuff, and then he saw this drama, and he's like, no. This is exactly why I've been wandering the streets playing this fucking instrument.
My only counter to that is Nas, make an album about that. About how you see what's going on and how you don't like it. That'd be a great album.
That would be, especially because mature rap is like in a good prime right now. You know, it's nice to see people growing up in their art forms and like their personality, not in like their public like artist persona, but like themselves too, and like chasing that understanding of oneself.
Right. Yeah, and reflecting on their life and like their accomplishments and what they regret, what didn't come through. Like that's one thing I love is like when a rapper is honest and talks about stuff where they're like, damn, I wish this had happened, or I fucked up here. I wish I'd been cool with this guy before he died, or whatever. And like being honest with yourself, because that's when you should be able to be the most honest, because you have your flowers. Your status has been made. You shouldn't have to pander at all. Right.
And that was something that I found a lot that was really nice and like giving air in the Tyler the Creator album, was that he was talking like more of himself and more being himself and speaking on things that were like important to him and giving like an in look within his life. And that was like nice to see, because that was cool too, because there was definitely like just like a lot of openness with it, and kind of like not paradoxically, same thing with Kendrick Lamar stuff too, is like him getting this like current day stuff like off his chest and stuff too.
Right, and also even give shout out to my brother when he was saying, "Oh, Cordae album's better." He also had that mature. Like he has a song, I can't remember the exact name, but it's his daughter's name, and it's literally kind of like how Eminem does to Haley. Like it's a letter to his daughter. Yeah, how he hopes she grows up and does all this stuff, and if she gets into music, he'll be there to support her. And like it's great to see that where it's not just about him, it's him looking to the future.
Yeah.
And like you said, mature rap, it's kind of making a comeback, and I appreciate
and
that.
And it's nice, man.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to hate on the lit turnt shit. Like I love that too, but sometimes we need some reflection, because life is going so fucking fast, man.
Constantly.
And I think we're moving so fast, sometimes we don't look back and like really sit with like why we made certain decisions and the aftermath of them.
Yeah. It's like, okay, like this thing happened, like move on with what's the next thing that's happening.
Right. And it's like, you have to move on, but if you don't really sit and like let that shit settle. Right. It's like, building your foundation, but you're not letting the fucking concrete set. Like, right. It's going to be unstable.
And then moving around too, like, okay, like, you got the concrete thing going on, but then you move immediately to like the yard, and then you forget about, the other things that you had to do with that first like thing that had started.
Right. Yeah. And they all got to coalesce together.
Fit together.
So with that, so the next song I don't honestly have a super lot to say on.
I don't either.
It's a great song though. The one standout line I like with Hey Now is if you're gonna crash out, better break the backboard.
Yeah,
that shit's hard. That shit's so fucking hard. I love it, and it's just Kendrick again showing more West Coast love. I believe the song also has a feature on it that I don't know the artist. I'm sorry. I'll be honest. I will go through and check a lot of them out after the fact, because I loved it. I did love that Kendrick made a direct choice on this to make this super West Coast at the cost.
Hella West Coast.
At the cost of, there are going to be a lot of people probably turned off. Like, if you don't like West Coast kind of style, you aren't going to like a lot of this album.
Yeah, and it has a lot of that that tonality into it. Out of curiosity, since we were talking about like features and stuff like that, how do you feel about Tyler the Creator's album having more TDE features than the Kendrick Lamar album?
It's hard, because I don't want to like cop too much of a plea for Kendrick, because of course he's my favorite artist, but I feel a lot of it is him being like, he wants them to stand on their own. Yeah. And they can't, if they're all of their hits are tied directly to him. Yeah. So I think that's why you see him work with a lot with SZA, is because SZA has proven like she's worked with a lot of other big name artists and whatnot. And so that's just kind of her thing. compared to if all of Absol's, like, you go to Spotify and like they'll have like the most popular songs. If every single one is one with Kendrick Lamar, like, that takes away from it. And so I think he wants them to do their own thing. And especially because, and I've heard from multiple, a lot of the TD members where there's a lot of shit he does behind the scenes that helps them. Whether it's like hooking him up with a certain producer or like giving him a track, and granted, people could say, oh, it's his cousin, but he literally ghost wrote for Baby Keem.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And so I think a lot of it is just, you got to stand on your own.
I like that.
And Kendrick even has on, and again, I can't remember the exact song on here, where he even says, he's like, don't expect, why do I owe you shit just because you knew me since we were kids? And it's fair. It's like, yeah, you're the homie or whatever, but that doesn't mean Kendrick owes you anything. Like, he still kind of gave you a career to a degree, like, with what he's already done. And from also what I've seen, because there's been some people, like, mocking other of the LA artists that were at the pop out that didn't get on this album. And a lot of them have come out and said, they're like, no, I'm not upset that I'm not on the album. He's like, you don't understand. When they win, I win too, because it's the whole fucking culture. Like, that's the West Coast mindset, is like, even if you're not directly a part of it, if you are a part of the culture, you're uplifted too. You just got to do your own work. Like, not everyone can win off every single fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, and even Tyler, the creator, mentioned on his album something along the lines of like, in my city, I'm the biggest thing popping next to Kenny. Mm-hmm. So along the lines, and it was cool. Like, it was like celebrated. He's like, yeah, it's cool. And like, but it's like not like like fuck him for get more plays, whatever. He's like, not like we're doing it. And he's like, he's celebrating that he's like in that fucking queue. Like, that's huge to be like anyone that everyone knows, let alone be like in the top 3 of like what's in like rotation and shit right now, and like celebrated for like where you are, like what you have going on. That's fucking huge. And a lot of people end up like overlooking that kind of shit. Like, unfortunately, like, that's beautiful.
Yeah, 100%. So I might be copping Kendrick, because don't get me wrong, I would love a Schoolboy Q feature. I would love an Ab-Soul fucking, hell, Isaiah Rashad and Kendrick on a fucking soulful fucking song. Hell yeah. But like, if it happens, it happens. Like, and especially with how Kendrick works too, like his artistry, like, you shouldn't compromise your artistry and go with someone who maybe doesn't fit your vision just because it's the homie.
Yeah, that part.
And I feel like some artists, that it actually hurts them because they do that, where they do keep working with one of their younger homies who, not to be harsh, aren't as talented or whatever, or it doesn't work or whatever, and it taints their quality of music.
Sure. Oh.
But also, I get it,
Yeah.
raising everyone up. But let's get to, this is also in my fucking top 3. Oh my fucking God. Reincarnated.
It was a good one.
Oh my. It's so crazy how, like, the moment the beat kicks in, you already, and real quick, pause. Actually, before that even beat kicks in, something we kind of overlooked, and I want to highlight it, is through, like, the opening song, this song, and a couple of the others, there is a Spanish woman who's singing. And I come to find out, apparently she's like a part of this like LA mariachi band or whatever.
That's tough.
Kendrick made it a point, because he even has said back in the day how he loves all his Latinos and how they're a big part of LA culture.
Yeah.
Like, they're a part of it. It's not just, black people and shit. So I love that he made it a point to include, and even one of the other rappers on here is a Mexican rapper. So, like, I love that Kendrick, even though, everyone always says, oh, he always wants to free the slaves, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, he cares about people.
Yeah. And he's on his community shit right now.
Exactly. And so I didn't want us to overlook that, even though we've skipped over, because I don't speak Spanish. I don't know what she said, but it sounded good.
It sounded dope.
Yeah. But when the actual beat kicks in, and apparently he sampled this from a Tupac song.
Oh, yeah.
Real word I can't say. But, yeah. So he sampled that, and it immediately comes in, has that Tupac fucking flow, that aggression.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it's called Reincarnated, and I still haven't figured out who he's talking about. So So it's split up into 3 verses. He has the first verse where he's talking about some guitar like blues player or whatever that was born in the 40s and how he's a rebel and he died of overdose or whatever. And then he goes to a singer, and some people are thinking he's talking about Whitney, but I don't know. I feel like it's probably a deeper cut than that. And then after that, it goes to him / you realize he's talking to God and he's Satan, but he's actually rewriting the story of Satan. And like this song I had to put on a couple times to really fucking understand all that he's fucking doing with it. But I thought it was beautiful how he tied all of that together and how it was kind of a flex, in my opinion, on Drake, how Drake did Tailor Made, where he's like, oh, I'm going to just do AI Tupac's voice. And Kendrick's like, no, I'm going to channel Tupac's fucking spirit.
Yeah.
Like, this is way more of a Tupac song than Tailor Made could ever be.
Well, I'm paying like correct homage and stuff too. And I was always crazy when Drake was like in during the whole beef, he had a lyric talking about how he was like accusing Kendrick of like crying to the Tupac estate to like take some of that stuff down. And it's like, I highly doubt that, like, because they're hard on what's going on. So they probably just saw that and just cracked down like immediately.
Yeah, I don't think he had
like,
to say shit.
Yeah.
At all.
Do you think Lil Wayne and excuse me? Do you think Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar are cool, or like because like the whole thing going on and now with the Super Bowl and everything?
I don't think they'll ever work together again.
No.
Well, I think it's just out of pure.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they did Mona Lisa together.
Yeah, they did Mona Lisa together, and ironically, that's one of the few songs Lil Wayne never performs. But he claims it's because he can't remember the lyrics.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, he has a ridiculous amount of songs.
He's literally have people write down lyrics for him to practice to remember what he said.
But, yeah, I think just because of Wayne's ties to Drake, like, we see how sensitive he is. Like, Lil Wayne can't be cool with him without drawing the ire of Drake.
Yeah.
So I think just because of those politics alone, and then on top of that, you add in this Super Bowl shit, the fact that Kendrick name dropped him, and then Wayne clearly feels some type of sensitive way.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's definitely dead and over. Even though I honestly, I don't think Kendrick has actual beef with him.
That makes sense.
It's just he's not
circumstantial.
He's not gonna kowtow and just be like, yeah, you're a legend. I'm just gonna bow to you.
Yeah.
Because Kendrick's a legend too.
I would high key though, even though obviously I don't want like all the stresses on the dude, and like, you know, I want to do it because he wants to do it or whatever. I would love for a Spazzing Out Lil Wayne album, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it though.
I know we won't, and I hope we don't, because, you know, I don't want dudes to be going through like stress and shit like that. You know what I mean? And as a rap fan, it would just be dope to see, you know.
I just don't know if Wayne has that in him. Like, he has that spark where, like, he can get on a feature and fucking flame that. But, because apparently he said he's working on whatever, what Carter is he at now, 6?
Yeah. So it'd be the Carter 7?
Yeah. He's working on it in Hawaii.
Oh.
So we'll see, but I honestly, I don't have crazy high hopes.
Yeah.
Just because he's at that age where, like, what is he even going to rap about? Because he hasn't had that growth, let's be honest. Like, I still love Wayne. He's super talented, but, like, as an artist, he hasn't really matured or developed.
I hear you. Yeah.
Like, I kind of prefer him, honestly, just on his features at this point. Because when he'll hop on a random feature for a young artist, like, he shows up for those.
And that's something I love. He's very good with, like, hanging out, like, in the scene and, like, spending time with, like, the youth, so to speak. And it's like a form of like passing the torch. And it's cool too, because I'm sure like it still hits him very hard being that young and in the scene, and how like he looked up to like his legends. And for him to be in that position to come down and hop up and you just have fun with it, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like it's not even like a stimulus package. It's just like, yeah, like he's like putting like a stamp of approval on it.
Right. Yeah. Like my favorite feature that he gave, do you know who Flage is?
The name is familiar.
So she's a basketball player. She plays for LSU, but she's also a rapper.
Yeah.
And she doesn't, as far as I could tell, she doesn't really cuss that much in her rap. She doesn't
Yeah.
sexualize herself really that much or whatever. She's just, she's dope and she's a ball player and she fucking can fucking freestyle like a motherfucker. And she got Wayne on a fucking song.
What?
Yeah. And so I'm excited. She's still probably going to go to the league. So I don't know how big her rap career will be, but super talented. I love that Wayne, especially because she plays for LSU. Like, him hopping on a song with her and all that, like, that's dope.
Do you think she's better than Damian Lillard?
I think Dame has better bars. She has better flow.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, I'll have to show you her song too about her. She
Bet.
doesn't have a lot, but what she has out is pretty dope.
Yeah, 'cause I think I remember you talking to me about her when we were walking to the liquor store last time we were hanging out.
Yeah.
Bet. How'd you feel about TV Off?
So TV Off is the one that I keep flip-flopping between this and Whacked Out as my favorite song.
Yeah, because it's a good one.
Oh my fucking God. And it's my favorite thing about this is the fact that he did like he did on Damn, where he had a fucking beat switch.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing missing, I feel, from a lot of these other tracks is it was pretty straightforward.
Although, to be fair, he's had a lot of beat switches this year.
That's true.
So,
that is true. But they're my favorite.
Yeah.
No, and then especially the mustard. Like, I've been driving Alex nuts because I'll just walk into a room and just yell mustard at him. And, dude, McDonald's fucking posted a meme of a honey mustard packet, but with mustard.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. What?
Yeah.
Dog.
And then I've seen
What?
so many video edits. Like there's one of like Goku going Super Saiyan, and it's just mustard. I can't even finish the word half the time.
Yo.
It's just so good. Like I know mustard on the beat ho is such a good tag. He might need
That's
to change
great.
it for a year to just Kendrick yelling mustard. Like, and we need love like that for producers. We need them to just come out and be like, Metro!
Yo.
Because they're putting in work.
Yeah. Mustard. Metro.
No, and then also the what they talking about nothing. What they talking about nothing. What they talking about nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's so infectious, man. Like, just such high energy. I loved it, and I'm pretty sure this song is the one that has Roddy. No, I lied. That's the next song that has Roddy.
Yeah, Dodger.
But fucking phenomenal song. I loved it. I feel like this is the banger. Like, this is the one that you're fucking gonna be hearing fucking places. That and no, apparently I totally skipped this. We missed it because annoying thing. So I went to the Nuggets game last night and getting in was awful. Like, way worse than normal. Like, we didn't get in until the game had already started.
What?
I don't
Really?
know what the fuck was going on. Yeah.
What happened?
I have no idea. We
Wait,
didn't get
y'all
explanation.
just sit in the line forever?
No, we were in a line, and then they closed fucking one of the doors, and they were like,
that's bullshit.
you either have to merge with this line, and then later was like, to be honest, it'll take longer for you to merge. You should just go through the side door. So we went in through the side of the building, like next to the restaurant, like right next to the store.
Yeah.
And it took fucking forever. We got in our seats with like 2 minutes already gone by. But I guess before the game started, like when they're doing their warm-up and shoot-around, Squabble Up was already playing.
What?
Yeah. And Westbrook, of course, was bobbing his head to it.
Yeah.
So I loved that. So, yeah. So, Squabble Up, I think, will be played a lot. I think TV Off will be played a lot. And then, if you don't have anything else to say about TV Off, I think Dodgers Blue is definitely going to be played a lot, especially, of course, baseball when it comes back around. To be honest, this was probably Dodger Blue was my second least favorite, but it was, so I did not save Luther, and at first I did not have Dodgers Blue saved. I had the rest of the album saved, but then I re-listened to the album on my drive home. Dodgers Blue is a fucking cruising song, dude. Like, you know how there's certain songs that, like, especially hit hard when you're driving and the sun's setting. You just had a long day at work, but you're just chilling. You know, you get to go fucking relax. That's how I feel Dodger Blue is.
Do you think that the Dodgers are gonna have their that song as the
100%.
anthem?
No, they already fucking posted.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, and I will say Kendrick
Yo.
does kind of have a cheat code with that.
Yeah.
The fact that he has the West. The thing I love about it is it's authentic. It's not just I'm going to name drop something and they're going to support me just because I name dropped them. It's Kendrick. He has genuine love for LA. It's not.
Yeah, it's got real backing.
Yeah. Yeah, like if Drake fucking did something talking about the Dodgers, that's bullshit. But other than that, I wasn't a super big fan of this song. I'm not going to lie. Roddy is kind of feeling like a one-hit wonder to me. No hate. But other than the box, most of the shit I've been hearing from him, it's not super duper impressive to me. But it could be, like I said, a curse of him being... Oh.
You good?
Yeah.
Let's go.
A curse of his own success.
Yeah.
Like that the box was so monumental that I'm less impressed now.
Because it's so hard when you have, especially a song that big, like to follow up and like maintain, especially if it was something that was like, I don't know, more like side piecey potentially, you know, like yeah, it was like his like a big single like off like the album and everything, but to really be able to maintain that hype and shit, that's hard to do. Especially when it blew up the way that it did too, and during the time that it did, like that was like what, right before COVID. That song like got really big, and then COVID hit. Like what are you supposed to do then?
Happened. Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah, it was very unfortunate. So I'm still hoping to be proven wrong, but right now I'm not so sure about him.
Do you think he'll have a box type part 2?
No, I hope not.
Me either.
Hope not.
Yeah,
we gotta stop with the part 2s on shit.
I mean, unless it warrants it.
Which, real quick side note, I don't want to touch on it too much because I didn't listen to the album because I don't really care for him, but I thought it was interesting. Little Uzi, he dropped Eternal Take 2.
Mm-hmm.
It flopped terribly. Like, it's the first time he hasn't done 100K first week, yada, yada.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And the weird thing about it is it was supposed to be Eternal Take 2, but it didn't follow any of the same concept. It didn't have concepts at all. It literally felt like throwaways. And so people were really pissed. They felt like he just threw the Take 2 on there to get people in because people loved the first one so much.
Unless maybe they were like, not throwaway ideas per se, but things that didn't make it for the full like chopping block of the last album, like some new things like in that vein.
What Uzi's saying is that he pulled a Prince and he just threw this out to get out of his deal.
Oh.
My only thing with that is I feel like a lot of motherfuckers say that now just when shit doesn't do as well as they thought it was going to do. So I'm not sure entirely. I want to believe him just for the fact that it did feel very carelessly put together from what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like thrown together half-heartedly.
So that's why in general, I feel like doing part 2s to anything, like, here's my general rule in general. If you're going to have like sequels, part 2s or whatever, it needs to be something that you had planned before the first one hit. Because if you're doing it just because the first one hit, you are now chasing a trend and that's always going to fail.
Yeah, unless you plan to like explore that, already had things starting, or had so much going on
at
that
the very
like,
least a concept. Like you had a general idea. It can't just be like, oh fuck, this did really well. Time to do a part 2.
Well, and you see it with movies all the time too.
Dude, Joker.
Yeah.
No, and apparently I'm convinced. Literally, the director purposely
which I need to
tanked
see.
it.
I need to go see that one.
It's bad, dude.
How bad is it, Dom?
So bad.
Tell me, Des.
Like, he literally purposely destroys the character he created.
Oh.
Like, dude spends more time being a little bitch than ever being the Joker. But that was on purpose. Because apparently the director literally originally, because it was planned to only be a one single standalone movie.
Yeah.
And then it did so well that they're like, we want a part 2. And the guy's like, I don't want to do a part 2. And they're like, well, either you do a part 2 or we fire you and we get someone else to do part 2.
Oh.
And then so that's when he was like, fuck it. I'll make it a musical. Fuck it. I'll make the guy fucking... I would have to spoil it to really fully explain how bad it is. I'm warning you, Jared. Wait until you can just stream it or something like that. Like, don't go to theaters for it because you'll be mad at the money you spent.
The Benjamin got me.
It is quite literally a waste of time unless you come at it from the approach of, oh, this guy literally hates that he had to make this movie.
Well, shit, they had to do that with what's it called? The Matrix. Out of nowhere, the motherfucking production company was like, "Hey, yo, we need another one." They're like, "No, we wrapped up." Like, and then if I believe correctly, they did something similar. Where like, "Well, we're gonna do it, so either you're involved or not, or some contractual kind of shit." So they're like, "All right, like I guess," and they purposefully did something that was not like the best, or slash it was just rushed because they had to like make up how to not end the end.
Right.
And go from there.
Yeah. And that already fucking puts you on a back foot because now shit's contrived. So to even make something coherent, and then is it even going to stay true to the same messaging or build upon it?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm terrified we might not actually end up getting a Spider-Man 3 for the Across the Universe.
Really?
Dude, apparently they already had to cancel because originally they were planning for it to come out in 2025.
Oh.
And they don't have an planned date. But a lot of that came out because there was a bunch of shit they got after the second movie came out. Phenomenal, great, literally probably one of my top 10 movies of all time.
Yeah.
And a lot of shit came out that apparently they were overworking their workers. They had 10 different endings planned for the fucking movie before they finally settled on one. And I will say I don't want great art at the cost of people's health.
Yeah, and you see that a lot with like video games right now too.
Almost anything fucking that comes from Japan, to be honest.
Yeah,
like they overwork the motherfucker. Like
they take on heavy workloads.
No, the
supposedly.
worst I hate is like manga artists and shit. Like one of my favorite animes of all time is Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah,
and the manga is still going, but the dude has had to take multiple like year-long breaks because like he spent so much time hunched over drawing and shit that he has fucking crazy back problems.
What?
Yeah. And he's very specific and prideful about his shit that he doesn't want to like let someone else do his shit. So like now he kind of he's kind of given in a little bit, and he has some people who draws like a lot of the background shit, but he does the main characters and all of that other stuff. So he's been able to get some shit out, but like it's rough on them. Or, dude, the One Piece manga guy, he finally had to take a break. Dude, he's been pumping out fucking a new manga every single week for years. Dude, because the manga's over 1,000 fucking chapters at this point.
Yeah.
And he's putting out a new chapter every fucking week.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and so now he's on like a multi-month hiatus, but he fucking deserves it.
Yeah, at that point, especially because like there's been an insane amount of episodes of that show.
Mm-hmm. And still going. And then on top of it, like, and it's not just like, oh, you create it, send it in, you're good.
Right.
No, they still have editors and bosses who, like, the guy who created Dragon Ball, when he was creating Cell, you know how Cell had, like, multiple forms? Mm-hmm. That's because each time he made one, that was supposed to be the final form. But then the editors are like, no, this isn't scary enough. Or, oh, this is too monster. It needs to be more humanoid. And so he had to keep going and read. And so it was cool.
Fuck that.
In the sense we got a really cool character at that.
Yeah, got a lot.
That fucked him up.
Yeah.
That's many sleepless nights having to rewrite entire chapters to create a whole new character.
Based off the whim of someone else.
Yeah, because they think that will be what's good.
It's like, how are you going to tell me, the creator of the thing, what's going to be like?
No,
good?
he also originally, if you didn't know, Gohan was supposed to take over and be like the main character lead.
Really?
But then his editors came back and they're like, no, everyone loves Goku. They don't like this guy. He's too nerdy. And he literally had to bring back Goku from the death. Like he was supposed to stay
Is that
dead.
why that happened?
Yeah.
Oh. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And
holy shit.
So, like, it's crazy that behind the scenes, like, we just get to enjoy all of this, like, entertainment. We don't realize.
Yeah.
There's some dudes who, their whole lives are getting fucked over just to create it. We went on a crazy tangent. What's the next song we got to talk about?
The next song Is it TV off?
Yeah, it went off. Do 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 do.
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo. I don't have too much to say other than so fucking catchy, dude.
It's a good song.
Yeah, the
that shit's fun.
Between each
yeah.
one. No, and I definitely want to look up the guy he had on with this song, like, because Kendrick had that like back and forth with him on that. I just loved it. This song, fucking Squabble Up and a little bit of Whack Them Rules makes me want to crip walk so bad. I know I can't. I shouldn't ever, but it just itches that urge, without a doubt.
It's infectious.
Yeah,
it really brings
fucking
the West Coast, most like specifically LA, like Central California vibe to that shit. You just want to enjoy it.
Also, I just love the peekaboo is like, because he's like the boogeyman, you know, so he just like pops out like, this album was a fucking peekaboo. Like, So that's all I really have to say on that one. I really want to get to the next one though, because oh my god,
let's do it.
Heart Part 6. So something I held off on, and you maybe caught it earlier when I corrected myself. Notice how he called it Heart Part 6 and not the heart.
Yeah.
And normally that's what he had, but because Drake did his. I do love how he literally just continued the series, ignoring it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that was best. Like, I kind of would have hated if it was Part 7, or like he had changed it to something else. Like, I love how he's just like, fuck you, bitch. That song sucks.
Yeah. Like, we're just going to go through. Although, thinking about it, that does strengthen the idea of another album coming. If the Heart Part 6 is usually released like beforehand, whether or not it's like on the album.
And especially, I will say,
if it's on this, then maybe another album is coming.
And I feel like this song was like the most tonal shift compared to the rest of the album, you know? Like, this song didn't feel like a West Coast fucking banger.
Yeah.
This felt like he's reflective. He's looking back on his past. Like, and I love that he did that and just telling the story and shouting out all the people who he's working with and, like, the shit they had to do before they're now, like, successful businessmen. And I did love that one line he had where he talked about how it's his fault that Black Hippie didn't work because, like, he started just moving in a different way creatively that kind of he kind of was the backbone of it, and so without him it kind of just like fell apart. And so it does make me sad that, like, I think that's him acknowledging we're never probably getting that Black Hippie album.
Maybe not the original one that was intended,
right?
But I could see something in the future.
Maybe.
I'm kind of surprised that it didn't happen this year, although knowing everything that was happening like this year, I 100% get why, but all three of them dropped.
And again, going back to what I was saying, Kendrick wanted them all stand on their own, and they all did. I will say, I hated seeing this. Motherfuckers were flaming Absol because I guess he only did like 5K first week and it didn't chart. And so people were like, blah, 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 see? And it's just like, 5K is actually pretty fucking good for. I hate that perspective. And I also hate how we judge art based off sales. Because there are so many dope artists that me and you both know that are fucking amazing. And they might not even have 10K fucking listeners on Spotify.
Right. But that niche loves them. It holds them in high regard. It's kind of like we were seeing this in movies for a good while. And it stopped because of like Hollywood stuff. But so I think we see it more now in the music scene. The cult classic. Dude,
Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Slug, I don't think has ever charted. Or maybe God Loves Ugly, maybe back in the day. But he's still putting out albums now, and none of them are charting. I bet, I would wager, he probably makes more money than a lot of these mainstream rappers.
Oh, yeah.
Just because all of his shows are usually sold out.
Mm-hmm.
He sells crazy merch, like insane, like.
And they started their own label from the get.
Exactly. And so the only people they're paying are their homies, are their family, like. It's all insular.
Yeah.
So I hate that, like, narrative of like, oh, see, Kendrick couldn't even help out his homies. It's like, no, they're doing their own thing. They're creating, and if you haven't, Absol's album is fucking awesome and it's beautiful because it's also in tribute to his dead brother. So I hate that, but I do love how like Kendrick, you could tell he let everyone else drop their shit before.
Yeah.
'Cause let's be real. This is kind of like when most artists stop dropping music because it's the holiday time. Like this is kind of the dead time. People wait until the new year. So Kendrick waited until everyone got their shit out. Let them get their shit. Let Tyler get his number one. Fucking kill that. And then he's like, all right.
Here you go.
Damn straight.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
So also with that, off the top of your head, where would you rank this out of the Heart series?
It's tough. I would have to re-listen to the other iterations of Heart. It's up there because it's beautiful and very insightful.
It's probably 3 or 4 for me, and that's no disrespect.
Yeah.
It's just the Heart Part 5. Holy fuck, man!
Yeah, and that's what I was considering too, because that one was, especially like right place and right time and everything too. Like, and that one is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, another album coming. I'm calling it now. Maybe I need to get on Polymarket. Do you think they got a betting nod for that yet?
Bro, you can bet on motherfucking everything now. Everything. You can bet on fucking cricket racing. Like actual crickets, not the sport, but actual crickets.
No, dude, I saw you could bet on what month you think and year Taylor Swift is going to get pregnant.
Shut the fuck up. What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play.
This is a dangerous game. Because, like, you start with just
You literally bet on anything, right?
Yeah.
It starts with a meme coin. And the next thing you know, you're way too invested in something that's never going to bounce back.
Side note, I saw this thing. Apparently, there's this new streaming, like, similar to, like, Kick or Twitch trying to start up.
Yeah.
Called Party, but spelled with an I.
Okay.
And how they're trying to get motherfuckers over is they're offering, if you're a small streamer, to pay you $1,000 a month. And if you like have some sort of following, $10,000 a month. But here's the catch: it's not in U.S. dollars; it's in their own crypto coin.
So how do I pay rent with that?
You cash out.
You just cash out and hope that's worth.
Yeah, and
something.
hope it's not just a fucking pump and dump.
That's weird.
I don't think it's gonna take off.
I see it in a similar vein of like companies, because companies will like give stock. Sometimes, like, hey, come join the thing. You know, maybe you'll get X amount of money, but you'll get like the stock or whatever. So if we're looking at it in that vein, like that's not like as weird, but for your entire spiff, so to speak, to be in that kind of vein, that makes it weird. Yeah, because if it just doesn't do anything, then all your money is like in there.
Right.
Like
it just. I'm sure we'll eventually get to a future where like crypto's super common, but it's just so scammy right now. It's hard for me to trust any of it.
Well, when people
Even
are playing it weird,
is legit shit.
Yeah,
I just can't trust any of it at this point.
Well, yeah, because a lot of it is like just forms of stocks. You know, at the end of the day, you know, but then there's a lot of that you know self-maintained market where it's very volatile. And if you don't know the intentions behind it, it's hard to really have any faith in it. Like, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum, for sure, like the go-to ones that are like solid. Everything really outside of that, and I mean, I know there's like some other ones, and I just don't like, you know, I'm not well versed enough into it. But there's so many that it's like, bro, first off, it's already a coin flip if it's gonna be anything, you know, and not even a coin flip, more than that, like a bunch of coins flipping, and then you add all the extra how. Like the bar entries kind of low to like make one. So like, you know, intentions behind it and the scams and the rug pulls and people not actually understanding what it is that you're creating. Even just those factors alone make it a very, very volatile kind of market.
Yeah. Did you see, I can't remember his name, but there was a football player who, so I guess after Trump won, the fucking Bitcoin like stock fucking shot up or whatever.
What?
Yeah. And there was some football player who he took like half of his salary in Bitcoin. And then so he was just all talking shit like, oh, who's a fucking idiot now? Who so risky, huh? And it's like, yeah, motherfucker, it worked out for you. So that's great. But at the time when you took that was a very risky, stupid fucking thing.
Yeah.
You got lucky. Cool.
Right.
But that does not make you smart.
You're only smart when the risk works out.
Right.
If it went the other way, that'd be like looking at the sun without sunglasses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like
it's like the motherfuckers too who brag about like, oh, I hit my parlay, I'm so fucking good at this, and it's like, no, you got lucky one time. Show us the other 100 times you fucking missed.
unless there's something that you're like digging into that helps, like do
it
the
has
thing.
to be straight math. If it's not straight math, fuck off.
We could parlay all day. How'd you feel about GNX?
It really threw me off because I thought I was gonna hear the fucking snippet.
Yeah, I was surprised on that one.
Like,
Although, no, I was not surprised, but I was surprised because why I call it GNX. Like, it's one thing to like sneak it into like a music video and then play it out, so it's like an unnamed kind of thing. But then you're actually giving a name to the thing that you may embellish on later.
Right. So maybe with that, maybe that snippet. So that's like the part 2 to this song.
Oh.
That's the only thing I could think. Also, side note, it made me look it up. So the GNX apparently was a really good fucking car back in the day, and it literally beat a Lamborghini in a fucking race.
What?
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
I want a GNX.
That's what I'm saying.
Yo.
No, and I think it stands for Grand National or whatever, and that's why at the beginning of TV Off, he's like, all my life I wanted a Black Grand National.
Oh. That's fucking ill. Okay.
Fuck
okay.
being rational. I love that song so much. God damn it. Sorry. But no, and then the last, dude, what did you think of fucking Gloria? Oh my fucking God.
That shit was beautiful.
It's so fucking beautiful. And and I love how like you don't like really pick up on that he's talking about his pen until the end, and then he even has like a pun in there too, where he was like, "What's your? I even know your favorite movie. It's Notebook." Because it's his pen. Because at first, because I didn't catch it at first, because like I'm just like listening while I'm at work or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't realize he was talking about his pen. So he's like, "Oh, I think your favorite movie's Notebook," and I'm like, I don't think Kendrick fucks with girls who love Notebook. It's a terrible ass movie. But then once I got that, I was just like, that's actually really funny.
Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was beautiful him talking about like how you can uplift people or you can destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
And Kendrick clearly displayed that this year.
Kendrick giveth, Kendrick taketh away.
And yeah, I just love Kendrick's like tendency to like give life to like inanimate objects or to concepts and whatnot. Like, I think that's a beautiful thing that he can like have conversations with. Like, and that was a funny thing. Did you see RDC already put up a fucking skit about Kendrick's album?
Really?
Yeah, and it's basically
Those dudes are quick.
Dude's producer or whatever, and it's Mark's Kendrick, and he's just in the booth and he's like just yelling "Mustard" and like just arguing with himself. And yeah, that's Kendrick. No, and then he comes out and he's like, "All right, is that good?" He's like, "Yeah, that's fire." He's like, "All right, put it out." He's like, "Wait, what? There's no promo." And he's like, "Oh, that one video thing I shot. Put that out." He's like, "What?" And then drop it next week. He's like, "No, 5 minutes later." And apparently, I even heard rumors. Apparently, his label didn't even know that he was dropping it until like the morning of.
Really?
I don't know how much that makes sense because isn't the label him and Dave Free? So what? He just called Dave Free didn't know.
He's like, "Hey yo."
He's like, "Kendrick, you're supposed to be working on your movie today." He's like, "Yeah, but the album's done."
Dave Free just woke up. He's all getting his coffee and everything. All of a sudden, he's getting a call. And he's like, "Hello?" He's like, "Album's out." Dave Free's like, "What?"
Yeah. It's like, damn. No, and that's the other thing. I just realized, yeah, next year he's going to come out with this fucking movie, too.
Yeah, huh?
Dude, he's just taking over, man.
Dude's busy.
And what's funny, not to talk too much about Drake, the one thing I saw with Drake, other than he's doing that stupid fucking stream, apparently he's coming out with his own collab with Air Force One.
Really?
But it's so dumb. I hate it. And apparently Air Force One is just doing this like with every rapper because they apparently did one with Yachty too. And all it is it's the same ass basic shoe, but in the corner there'll be like some lettering or logo. Like I think for Drake's, it's literally just font that says Certified Lover Boy that you can't even like see that well. Yeah, certified. Yeah, it's just that lettering on the bottom. I know. I haven't looked at prices. I bet you they're gonna be at least still $80 a fucking shoe. And so I hate it. It's the most lazy fucking shit you could do ever. Right? What does it say? Can you even see it? I can't read it.
Certified lover? No. Love again, Jordan?
Yeah, like what the fuck does this say? Can you zoom in that bitch? Love again forever?
I think it says love again forever.
What the fuck does that mean? I'm not just being stupid, am I? That doesn't mean anything.
I love you, Dom. Nah, bro, I got no idea. I got no fucking idea.
The only thing cool about it is the acronym is laugh.
LOL. Oh, no, wait. That's that. LAF.
Yeah, laugh.
I'm dummy.
But yeah, that's what he's coming out with. So,
do you think we're going to get that Drake and Party Next Door?
I don't fucking know, dude.
What do you think?
I feel like he kind of missed the season for it. Like, if it is, it has to come out next year. Because, like I was saying, no one really drops music in December unless it's fucking Christmas music. I know I saw something, like, one of the producers being like, oh, it's on the way. But that was, like, 2 weeks ago. And they haven't, like, previewed any songs, no single, nothing. Yeah, it's dropping soon. A month ago.
OVO Noel gives an update? I don't know who that is. No.
They gotta stop giving the
OVO. Or Noel, maybe?
They gotta stop giving the OVO to motherfuckers with such soft-ass names. Like, I know there's an OVO Mark. That's not intimidating.
Bro, are you telling me? Okay, no. Alright, So, Drake made an announcement about the album. Drake recently went on a rant, seamlessly addressing the beef he found himself in earlier this year, which may explain his need to work on this upcoming album with a longtime collaborator and friend. My friends are definitely in the building,
No,
he
my
said.
real friends.
Oh, my real friends are definitely in the building. He said while on stage during a party in Toronto. Let me tell you, they're going to come to a point in life where people you thought were friends, people you thought you were close to switch up. We're still on this?
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever let it go.
People in your life switch up, but he's been talking about it, like about like being concerned about people in his like area being whatever, like since like a long time ago, man.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Well, yeah, that happens when your relationships are bought and not forged.
That's a bar right there.
I mean, it's facts, dude. Like, that's one thing that I think fucks a lot of these motherfuckers up coming up is a lot of them are fucking lame. They didn't have actual fucking people like that for them, and they get their success, and then they just get yes men. They don't have people that are actually pull them aside and be like, yo, what you're doing is fucking whack. Like, do you think there's anyone in Drake's camp that will ever pull him aside and be like, yo, maybe you shouldn't rap about people being in whips and chains like the slaves. Maybe that's a bad idea.
I mean, his mom tried and he used it in as a clip.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't start the song off saying. But no. Jokes aside, though, I don't really think so, man. Because it's fucking Drake, and I mean, who's gonna tell him what? Fucking Lil Yachty. Like that's
Right.
his like little bro with like all due respect, you know what I mean? Like, and he might say something, but also like that's like the big homie for him. Like they're cool like that, and like, and after he's like spending time with him and seeing like the moves and stuff that he makes to like then be like, hey boss, and not boss isn't like he works for him or anything like that, but like, hey big bro, like hey homie, like you sure you want to be doing all this?
Side note with
You
that.
sure?
Yachty's podcast never came back.
Really? So him and his co-host had like an argument, right? Something like that.
Well, no. So they had this clip that like went viral of when they had their pod, where basically he was shitting on his co-host because his co-host was telling people don't do like crime shit or whatever, and he was like, "That's easy for you to say. Like you basically came up because of me. Like you weren't doing shit. You didn't have a job. Blah blah blah." And so people were already shitting on Yachty, being like, "Oh, Yachty's trying to like big bro his homie and be like, you owe me everything." And so they're all shitting on Yachty, and homie didn't come to defend him on Twitter.
Oh.
And then this also was going on when there was the drama with Caribou, who dropped or whatever, and then apparently she told someone that he was bullying her or whatever, and so he went on a whole crash out where he was like, all I do is help people, blah blah blah. Mitch was the one who wanted the podcast, blah blah blah, and then he wouldn't even come out and back me up, so podcast is done, blah blah blah. And then Mitch then tried going on Twitter and being like, yo,
like this is what's going on.
yeah, and tried doing damage control, and then nothing ever happened with it. And I still think that's so whack. Like, I would never, like, if you're famous, you should not be fucking expecting your homies to fucking ride out on you on fucking the internet. Like, I care about real life riding for me. You know? Like, I think that shit's just goofy. Like, motherfuckers are gonna talk on the internet no matter what.
Right. Even you could do everything right. It's like a saying that I heard back in the days, like they even crucified Jesus Christ.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
like, if it's really that serious, address it on the next podcast together.
right.
Like, don't fucking be... The moment you start arguing with people on the fucking internet, that's when you already lost. Like, it is literally just a drain of fucking energy.
Yeah, like it would have been better if they came out with like even if it was like in a short form content, them just talking about it and just like making jokes about the situation.
Right, yeah.
And like, y'all are fucking weird. Y'all are fucking lame. And then boom, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Would have gone viral on fucking TikTok.
Exactly, yeah. So that kind of makes me sad that, like, because it seemed like a good podcast before that fucking shit happened.
He did have that weird ass furniture.
Yeah, no, I liked it.
I did too, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, is that really comfortable to be all up on?
Definitely not.
But they seem so comfy on it. It's like, how? How?
When you're rich, anything can be comfy.
It keeps you out of the comfort zone so you keep exploring new options and growing, I guess.
Yes. If you're trying to sell a scam, you say something like that. But yeah, do you have any closing remarks, final thoughts? Actually, no, real quick. I did want to bring this up. So comparing GNX, I think it's a fair comparison in the fact that it was a surprise drop. Which do you think was better? GNX or Might Delete Later?
Ooh, GNX. GNX.
Because Alex did bring up one valid thing. I do think J. Cole was rapping better on
yeah.
Might Delete Later.
I could see that. I can see that on like the more like technical kind of flow kind of stuff.
But
I just
on the
feel like
flip side-
Kendrick Lamar put out a lot more heart on
Well,
this.
that's what I'm saying. He actually talked about shit.
It was like
Let's be
artistry
real,
kind of things.
J. Cole wasn't talking about too much
Yeah.
on it other than like popping his own shit.
Yeah, and like 7-minute drill.
Yeah, which he deleted. So that's
Yeah, which I'm bummed about.
disqualified. But yeah, like Kendrick was actually addressing shit, and he even said on the opening song where he's like, "Fuck the double entendre. I want y'all to hear what I'm saying."
Yeah.
So like, of course he's gonna be way less lyrical than he normally can be, because he wants you to fucking understand it.
Wants you to really pay attention.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I'll give J. Cole a little up on is that. So, all right, let's make it a little harder. And this is less fair because obviously Tyler had a whole rollout and everything. Chromacopia or GNX, which would you prefer?
I will say a small caveat. I had not finished entirely Tyler's new album. Let me pull it up real quick. I got most of the way through though. I love that there was Dolce and Schoolboy Q on the album. I was really stoked to see that. Tizo Touchdown's cool. And of course, the fact they had Lil Wayne on there.
Oh, do you mean Doichi?
Is that how you say her name?
Doichi.
Doichi? Hell yeah. But yeah, I thought Tyler's album was really cool. I think Kendrick Lamar for me is the more what I'm gonna be going back to like immediately. But this one I'll continue to like listen to as well. I'm just now noticing that is Kendrick Lamar wearing a fucking like a WWE kind of championship belt over here?
It's a belt. It's a big ass belt for sure. What the fuck? Yeah, championship belt?
Is that what that is?
Hey, it might be. Can you zoom in?
That's what we get. I might be able to.
Here, let's see if you go to Google Images, maybe. We're doing some ASMR keyboard clicking.
Oh shit! Oh come on! I don't want a whole video. Give me the loot.
Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Oh! One thing I missed. On the Heart Part 6, it samples a Neptune song.
Really?
Which Pharrell, which I don't like you popping shit at Pharrell for him on Hair at the Beef. So for the Heart to have that, I thought that was cool. Yeah, I still can't really tell.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's a big ass belt, that's for sure, though. Almost looks like it's fucking bedazzled out or some shit.
Right. Yeah, I really liked how they created his album. I liked how he I feel like we saw like a good like insight into like his life and like some of the things that are going on. It felt like a very honest kind of album.
Oh yeah, for sure. What was your favorite song off so far that you've listened to?
How far I forgot. I thought Noid was really good.
Noid was great.
See, I think I got through Schoolboy Q, which I like too, actually, a lot.
Oh my God, Jared! Like him will make you fucking cry.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it made me cry.
But I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm stoked that he's doing what he's doing for plays and getting like number ones and like this recognition. Dude, I saw that a school marching band had played one of his songs. It might have been Noid.
No, they did Sticky for sure.
Was it Sticky? Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, and he even posted about it, and he was like, I created this song exactly for that. I am so fucking happy. Like, the thing I love about it is, it was... Tyler's always had intention, but this one was very intentional, and I felt like he left a really good blueprint for, if you're not going to be fucking Kendrick and just surprise drop, how you properly do a rollout. Like, hey, here's a single or a snippet. I got an album coming. Week or two later, shit drops. It's out. Now you can buy fucking vinyl and merch and all that shit after. Like, it was very concise, planned out. There wasn't fucking all these delays and pushbacks or, hey, I have an album coming out, but it's not for another 3 months. Like, why even announce it if it's fucking 3 months out?
I guess like give people like something to like look forward to at that time,
Yeah, but
and like
like
get the hype.
in today's modern age where shit is so fucking lightning quick, I think 3 months is just way too fucking long.
Yeah. Well, and I found a lot of times the best time to promote stuff is when it's like out and immediately ready for them to consume.
Right, yeah, because people fucking lose interest. They move on so fucking quick. There's a reason why TikToks now, they have the video and then fucking gameplay from some stupid fucking thing playing at the same time. Because that's the only way to keep fucking someone occupied.
Yeah. And then some of it too is like try and get around creative things too, you know, copyright. Yeah.
I get it, but it's also led.
I'm not a fan of it.
No,
Yeah.
I hate it.
I hate it. Yeah.
Or like one thing that always drives me nuts about my brother is a lot of times when he is listening to an album or whatever, he's listening to it while he's like playing a game of 2K.
Oh, so he's not even really like
That's
listening.
what I'm saying. Like you're only getting like the catchy shit.
Yeah.
Like again, there's a reason why "Sticky" is probably his favorite song because that's the one you can just sticky. Like you're not really having to like dial in and like realize, oh my god, what the fuck is he talking about?
Right. Like what's really going on? Aww. Come on, Empress.
Kitty cat.
She's like, I don't know, maybe just crack the door so I can maybe make up in my mind. She's like, I just want the option. Dude, this cat's gotten big, bro.
I know, that's what I was
She's
I
fucking
wanted to see
long,
dude.
dude.
Real life.
Bro. And she's starting to like grow and she's starting to get more of that like that adult cat kind of face and shit happening.
But real quick, so my new like method when I approach albums is I want to listen to it at minimum 3 times. One time is just first listen. Maybe I'm doing some stuff, but it can't be something like super focused or whatever. But it's just me like catching the vibe. If I even like enjoy it enough to want to give it the second or third, because it has to have that to a degree.
Yeah.
And then my second listen will be like super intentional. Like I'm focusing, I'm trying to absorb the lyrics as best I can, everything. And then my third listen is a drive in my car.
I like that.
No, and that third one is essential because that's the one where like if there's songs I'm like on the fence about, like I can really catch vibe. For example, back to Kendrick's Dodgers Blue.
Yeah.
That song fucking just feels good in a fucking car.
Well, and it sounds different in like the different environments too.
Exactly.
So something is gonna be more geared to that kind of like environment.
100%. Like I'm not playing Mr. Morale when I'm driving to work. Like I'm just gonna come in sad.
You're all crying, boss. Like, are you okay? He goes, I don't know anymore, man.
That's why I had to stop fucking listening to audiobooks going into work. Because sometimes there'd be like a real climactic emotional scene. And then I'm just like all sorts of fucked up. And people are like, are you okay, Dom? And I'm just like, yeah. Or like when Circles fucking dropped. I listened to that at work. And I was a fucking sobbing mess. Like trying to fold boxes with just fucking tears. Like it was rough.
You're looking down the boxes that look like they've been lost at sea for 2 weeks because of all the tears that have been dripping on them.
Yeah, I have to damage out some of it because they just get too soaked.
They're all soggy and shit. Dog. Shit, man. Hip hop's been good to us. Who else has dropped this year?
So we briefly touched on it, but Corday.
Yeah.
Really great album. Not better than his first, like my brother's trying to say. I'm sorry.
Maybe we should call him for his hot take real quick.
Oh, gosh. Yep, let's do it. We're doing Phone a Friend. You better fucking answer. Oh, this bitch isn't gonna answer.
No. This motherfucker.
Please leave your message. message for.
Oh, that's lucky.
All
right, well, another shit that's dropped. Freddie Gibbs dropped an album.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, You Only Die Once.
Only die once.
Beautiful. I love it. He has a. I don't know who he has as who plays the character, but it's a conceptual album or whatever. Where and it's been done before, but I still enjoyed it. Where it's the devil's like trying to tempt him, like throughout the entire thing. So they have little skits where he's like, "Come on, like I know you sold that crack, but have you ever tried smoking a little? It's even better," or whatever. And it's like trying to fuck with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that a lot. And let me see what else I have.
Schoolboy Q dropped. How'd you feel about his album, Blue Lips?
It took me like my fourth or fifth listen before it really grew on me. I was not a
Yeah.
fan at first, but I really love that Schoolboy's found his fucking actual lane.
Yeah, he's got his own vibe going on now.
And it's so crazy now that we know like the context of like he was not a rapper at all, and like Kendrick kind of had to force him to fucking do it. Check. All right, cool. And there was even that point where I'm pretty sure I read something that he was almost got fucking dropped.
Really?
Yeah, like Top was gonna fucking drop him or whatever, and Kendrick had to fucking drag him to the studio every fucking day and like get him to
Do the
lock
thing.
in, yeah. And that's a fucking homie right there. Like he wanted to just stay Kendrick's hype man, and then Kendrick like I literally fired him as his hype man, and was like, "Nope, you got to do your own shit now."
I'm kind of surprised that Schoolboy Q hasn't had a song called "Fired the Hype Man." You know what I mean?
That would be funny as fuck. Oh, Maxo Cream dropped an album.
Really?
Yeah, underrated. My favorite song off that album, he has a song called Big Ho Me. And it's basically a song about how he had an older homie who was like trying to get him to like do gang shit. And then when shit started to pop or whatever, his homie had dipped out. And how he had to realize his homie was a big hoe.
Oh.
And how he had to like do his own thing. And I was just like, oh, that's really clever, and that's true. Sometimes you grow up and someone you really fuck with, you're like, oh, you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah, and that comes with like living experience too. It's like, listen, I don't need all that.
Yeah, or even if like you love someone or whatever, but they're just a fucking dummy and adds extra fucking stress to your life. Oh, a smaller artist. Do you remember the guy I showed you, Shorty?
I think I showed you Shorty.
Or maybe you did.
I showed
Maybe
you Shorty,
did.
but yeah,
thought
I
you
remember
did,
Shorty.
He dropped another album.
Did he really?
Yeah, and it's good, but my thing is he definitely is just super at this point catering to the women. Entirely. Like they're all like either love or like cheating songs or like at the club kind of songs. Which kind of disappointed me a little bit because he had some good shit. But he has one song called Alibi where it's him basically being like, yo, just say I was fucking you to use as an alibi for whatever criminal shit I was doing.
Bro, did Gucci Mane drop this year?
Did he? He might have.
According to Google AI, he did.
Oh, I don't know if that's
I don't know.
trustworthy.
That's right. Let me look. That's 2018.
2014, 2024, You Don't Love Me. No, it's just a single with Sexy Red.
Sexy Red's been busy this year.
Oh, no, okay. No, I guess he did. He dropped Greatest of All Trappers. Gangsta Grills Edition. Came out August 16th, 2024.
So does that mean that there's a non-Gangsta Grills edition?
Not on Spotify. So it might actually be like an old album that they chopped and grilled. Maybe that's a possible thing. How long do you think before we get a Young Thug album? Now that he's out,
Bro, I don't know, man, because I think if I was him in this situation, hypothetically, right, I think I would take a little bit of time. So it would probably be the next like 2 to 4 years. I think he's gonna take a year or so off and like.
I mean, that makes
celebrate
sense.
life.
Yeah, be with his family,
Mm-hmm.
stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm. And sit down and redirect where you're going with things. Because, sure, like, you know, your name's Young Thug, but you can't be acting like a Young Thug anymore. And I know it's what truly hopeful under God or something like that Thug supposedly stands for. Truly humbled under God.
Yeah, I still don't
what
believe
it is.
that, but
Hey, I mean, if it is, man, that's yeah, may as well. And certify what that means, you know, going forward for him. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna be some time, and I don't know. I'm very curious to see what kind of music he would do after, because even though he is like diverse, it's been a lot of like similar genre kind of aspects, you know. Definitely like within his sound, so he'd have to like reinvent his entire sound.
I mean, I think he could just dive deeper into like that luxury designer rapper, because like he does have a lot of songs like that, you know, where he's just talking about all of his fucking Gucci and all that. But I don't know how long that'll last.
Yeah, I was about to say, how sustainable is that actually though?
That's
like,
true. That is very true.
And I mean, he could get an album just going off of like what he's been through super recently.
Right.
Things leading up to it, aftermath, you know, a little bit. You could probably get like an album or two out of that. But yeah, I don't know. And that's tough too, because he can't like go into like certain areas and stuff. And
well, no, and he's definitely going to have to wait for everyone else's cases to be wrapped up before he can really speak on it. Otherwise,
yeah,
he could get in trouble with that.
That part. Yeah. So yeah, my guess is like 2 to 4 years.
No, and then did
minimum.
you see that conflicting shit where like he specifically asked that he can still work with Gunna,
yeah.
But then I guess there was this thing, he posted some shit like talking shit to Gunna, and that got deleted. So people are speculating if he's actually fucking cool with Gunna or not, and it seems very confusing.
Like he just did it like at a like show. Or like what would be...
Well, so some could argue that he specifically asked because technically he's not even supposed to like talk about all those other people. So now that he got permission from the judge to talk about him, he could fucking diss him technically.
Oh.
Or it could literally also be contractually they're obligated because they are label mates. So like he still wants to get like money and all that other shit out of it.
At the very least, see him at whatever label meetings may or may not have to happen involving the two of them, or maybe, events or whatever.
He doesn't fuck with him, but he still like does need him to help with his career
or
at this point, because Gunna is debatably like popping,
or at least has that respect. Like, yeah, I'd like to keep this channel open just in case. Like, even if I don't like fuck with them, I want this channel open in case things change.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. So I was like,
yeah, man.
Because it's just been so much flip flop. Like I've seen like signs that like they're cool, and then other people were like, no, like why would all these other motherfuckers cut him off if that wasn't the case? But
right,
if he's contradicting that, were they just jumping the gun?
Well, and I wonder if there's other things going on behind the scenes that we're not. I mean, obviously there is, you know. But like that adding like an extra layer to like what's going on. Like maybe they're arguing about something, or you know, just there's so much emotions evolving around the whole thing. People don't really know exactly where to be because it's just more and more like, I don't know, heartbreak within the situation itself for them.
Right, and again, it's still tied into the business too.
Yeah,
like
which
that's
is
the
tough
part.
Yeah, that's like going to court with your coworker almost.
Yeah, and then you got to be cool after, and it's like, yeah,
right,
you didn't really do anything bad, but also I don't know if I can trust you now, and like,
yeah,
definitely is. Oh, do you think there's a chance he might just retire altogether and not do music anymore?
I mean, that's what like I would do, or at the very least, like drop it whenever like I'm feeling to drop something. But I mean, also though he has to, doesn't he? He has to do stuff in order to
for his contract.
For his but his contract and then also his legal stuff. He's supposed to do like charity concerts and stuff too, right?
So I don't know if it directly has to be a concert per se, but he does have to do like charity stuff that's anti-gun. So I don't know if it's
but
just
I thought
like
it was like I thought it was like shows. So maybe it's more vague.
It's events. Specifically. So yeah. So it would make sense for it to be a show per se. But then also you risk that being like really corny, like how people always flame T.I. because he has that Crime Stoppers commercial. And also I feel it's so contradictory how it's like, you're not allowed to be in Metro Atlanta except when you do these things for Metro Atlanta.
Yeah, 15 years of probation, bro.
That's no fucking joke, dude. That would get annoying so quick. Do you think with like those kind of orders, does that mean like do you think he could DoorDash food for Metro Atlanta to where he's at, or does that like violate it?
I think at that point you had to be on like work release or something.
But like, look, man, the best wing spot is in Metro Atlanta, okay?
Yeah, you have to have someone go and pick it up and do a whole thing. It's kind of like a like in baseball they have a pinch hitter. So like the pitcher will be like at bat. Someone else will hit for him, and then he runs that way he doesn't hurt his arm. So he has a pinch deliverer.
Oh my god!
Someone else goes into the territory you can't go in.
Baseball's so funny sometimes.
It's something different. Okay, Young Thug must do live anti-gun violence presentations for kids and 100 hours of community service.
So presentation. So
yeah,
that has to be a concert per se. But what else is he gonna do? Like a speech?
I mean probably. Must stay out of Atlanta for 10 years. Can't be associated. Young Thug cannot promote the gang lifestyle in any way. So yeah, he's really got to go. He's really got to go wonky with it.
Young Thug become a Christian rapper.
Oh, look at them!
She wants out of the room, but she's scared.
Oh, bring her to Papa.
Oh my goodness, she is ginormous.
Hi, it's me. It's me. She's so scared. Hey, shh, baby. Oh.
Oh my god.
Bro, she's such a big old scaredy cat. She bailed. I could have just held her.
She darted too.
Dude, yeah, like jumped out of my hands. I never see her do that before. She's like, there's company over. I don't know. He waived his Second and Fourth Right Amendments. What? Okay, so you can't have a firearm.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, but he is allowed to have armed security. Give Fourth Amendment right, which protects citizens from unreasonable searches by the government. So the government can just come in and raid his shit at any time.
That's a bitch.
For any reason. This includes cars, homes, computers, and phones for drugs, guns, and anything else considered gang-related.
Dang, so that means he can't even get that za.
Okay, but he is free to travel around the world and may serve probation wherever he'd like. So there's a plus in there.
Yeah.
You know, he could just go and fuck off to Hawaii or Hawaii. Oh shit. Oh god. Okay. He could just go and fuck off to like Hawaii or anywhere.
That's cool. And I don't know if they said it in here, but I'm pretty sure I saw a thing. He's allowed to keep his passport too. Like I think he probably obviously has to get. Like,
which would make sense if he's able to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So that's better than a lot of people. That's still rough though. Like having to be all on your P's and Q's for 15 years.
Well, and then your job is to make music, and there's now like crazy circumstances on what you're doing.
Yeah, like You can't even be in a studio with someone if they're smoking weed because that could get you in trouble.
Oh shit, yeah, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Unless maybe it's like legal, but if he's on probation, he's probably taking piss tests.
Yeah.
Unless he has like a medical license.
Well, no, and also it really does depend on your PO because, like,
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, even before weed was legalized, like,
They'd be
my
more
uncle's parole officer, like, did not care really. They're like, if the worst thing you're doing is weed, as long as you're not popping dirty for alcohol or anything hard, I'm not gonna bust your balls. But that's really a case by case basis, like how cool they are, which is so crazy. How like there's the legal law, but then there's just someone if they're really chill, you could basically do whatever. But if they're assholes, you can't do anything.
Right. Like fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Like I'm talking like there's motherfuckers who've gotten in trouble because there was really bad traffic, and so they had to go outside the counties they were supposed to stay in just to fucking get home. So
if you get in an Uber and that Uber driver takes a detour, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, and you're going to have to explain yourself.
That's wild.
Super fucking wild, dude.
But at least you can still run for presidency. Long as you're a certain age, you're born here, and you've been living here for, primarily for a while before doing it. That's all it takes.
Helps if you're white.
Helps if you're white. A white guy. Or a really old white guy.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
A lot.
That's so crazy to me.
But also, you just have to be slightly sharper-ish than the other guy. Even though you have no idea what you're saying. But you're confident about it.
That part.
As long as you're more confident than the next guy, I think you're good. I think that's what politics here have shown us. Which is why I'm definitely running for presidency.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jared, when do you turn 35?
I turn 35 at some point in my life. So I'm turning 30 in December. So that's going to be 2029.
So Jared for...
At the December 2029.
So Jared for 2032?
2032, baby.
But in like 2030, you got to run for like mayor or something, so that way you have some credentials.
At the very least, I'll be involved in the HOA or something.
You already have to be a celebrity because apparently you can go that route now too.
Maybe I could just do both somehow. Look, just put me on the school board. I'll put champagne water fountains inside the teachers' lounge.
You should. Yeah, and then you can make a show. It's like The Bachelor, except for the first lady. Can you imagine a show like that where you're like, I'm president, I need a first lady?
All right, we have to make this a skit.
That'd be great. No, yeah, because of course we'll obviously have one that's like obviously a Russian spy, but she's like really hot, so he's like doesn't even care.
Even further from that, like it's clearly me in a bad Russian lady costume while still looking like some kind of spy person, and I'm the person that's been falling in love with and chose to be the first lady.
Yeah. What are some of the other archetypes who could do this? A Kim Kardashian type, of course.
A Kim Kardashian, yeah. Oh my god, bro.
Jada Smith.
Yeah. Snooki from
Snooki. Is she still alive? What does she look like nowadays? Yeah, a very aged Snooki.
Someone from the Real Housewives of something.
Yep. And some famous gay dude, because we got to be inclusive.
He's the bartender.
Monica Lewinsky, too. Yeah,
Monica Lewinsky.
She deserves a fair shot this time. No, and then we'll have a plot twist mid-season where Hillary Clinton is the mistress giving head.
Dog.
That's beautiful.
That's poetry in motion right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is
That's
Hollywood magic. Yes, sir.
Dude, I'm curious. South Park, they purposely haven't came out this season because they didn't want to like cover the election again or whatever. Because they're like, there's what else could we do? So are they just not gonna do topical shit like the entire time Trump is president?
And I mean, I think South Park is kind of also in a space where it's like, all right, we've already done so much. Like, what else y'all want from
Right, and I
us?
think that's why you're seeing the creators like now they own Casa Bonita. They're making this movie of Kendrick. Like, I think they're trying to move on to other artistic endeavors.
Yeah, and like the immediate topical, and I mean, I feel like they will always maintain that because they're tapped into the world around them. That's something that's made South Park great, and I'm very proud of them for maintaining that throughout their years and not losing that aspect at the very least. But yeah, I feel like, because how long can you really do like some of these kind of tropes before it's just like, okay, like we know, you know, like if every other episode has something about, you know, the president fucking doing or saying something, then the show's just gonna get really sour, like real quick.
Right, no, and especially with just how toxic like the political climate
Yeah,
is. Like,
shit's weird, and they've already done so many of those, and had like President Duck and shit like that, and the "You Must Vote" with P Diddy, where he's like running around like shooting people who don't vote and shit. And the whole, you know, Trump thing when he was president, yeah, with fucking Garrison and shit. Like they've kind of, you know,
yeah, ruined that character just because of all that too.
Yeah, which was great for the bit, but also like, where do you go from there?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And I think that was the thing is they went so ridiculous. Like, surely this has to end and we can
move on.
Yeah,
but now the monster is back, so to speak. You know, at least like for them, it's like, okay, like we made a thing out of like this whole thing. Okay, well now it's back. It's like, okay, well you don't want to do it twice.
Right. Like I could see them maybe doing something where like maybe like they allude to it or like they're focused on something else more topical and then just like in the background you like see it happen maybe now and again where like they reference technology if it's like notable enough. Notable. I could see maybe something like that.
Low key, I am kind of surprised I didn't hear anything about them doing they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. I just feel like that's such a South Park kind of thing right there. Like I would have believed if I didn't know the context of like, you know, that quote, and if it was like, hey, like either a South Park episode or like a political figure saying something, I'd be like, oh, that's a South Park quote.
Right.
Obviously.
Dude, that could be a...
I don't know what episode it is, but obviously.
That's another game we could make.
What?
Is it a real quote or something said on South Park?
Bro, I love that.
Dude, it's like that now with there's NBA like parody accounts now on Twitter because now anyone, you know, can have a check mark.
Yeah.
And so one of the main NBA news Twitter things is NBA Central, and so someone made NBA Centel, so it's just without the R, and they just post like they've mastered the art of like it's fake and it's like outrageous, but it's not so outrageous that like you obviously know it's fake. And so they've literally gotten multiple people to like repost it as if it was a real thing fucking said. And it was like bullshit the entire fucking time.
Well, I remember The Onion was very big and stuff like that was happening with them too.
Yeah, now The Onion, they just bought InfoWars.
Oh yeah, huh? Mm-hmm. That shit's fucking crazy, bro.
No, and you know what's
that's
crazy?
A power move right there.
You know what's funny about it is the Sandy Hook families, like of the victims, they literally agreed to take a pay cut just so The Onion specifically could buy it. Because originally, the route Alex Jones was going to go is they were just going to get like one of his like super fans was just going to buy the rights to it and then just basically give it back to him where he doesn't own it, where he keep doing whatever he wants. But instead, literally, they agreed to take a like crazy pay cut so The Onion could buy it for $2 million. So I imagine what that like meeting was like. Where
oh my
like,
god,
The Onion like CEO like comes in whatever. He's like, hey guys, like condolences. I'm so sorry for your loss and ever, but like we can do something really funny. You know, like, because it had to have been discussed in some way. Like, I'm sure
Right.
there was at least a couple of them who were like, "What's the onion?" And they had to explain, like, we are a satirical thing, and we want to buy it to just make fun of them.
And the irony of that is just, mwah, it was fucking beautiful, bro.
I love it. Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do with it.
They,
I mean, even just holding on
so
to
their
it,
plan-
and $2 million, bro, that's not a lot.
See, here's the thing, though, is like their supposed plan is that they want to make like their own Infowars thing, like parodying to like make fun of like people like Alex Jones or whatever. But like for the same reason why I think the Onion's kind of died out, it doesn't work when you got actual motherfuckers who are seriously doing it. Like I don't think you can get more satirical than Alex Jones, who fucking literally thinks school shootings are fake.
Right.
How do you parody that?
Yeah, because if you just take a person and then like that's like the concept behind it, but they don't know that and they think that that is like the show that they're doing is what they have envisioned, but secretly everyone behind like the camera and like the boards and everything know that this schizophrenic, almost looking episode is to be in that parody kind of thing, then that could really fuck up someone. That's like what's that movie with Jim Carrey finding out that he's in a fucking movie his whole life?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Truman Show.
Yes.
It's like Truman Show, but like worse. Because it's one thing to like record, but to like put like extra false narratives and stuff, especially if you have any type of mental illness, like if you have like schizophrenia and stuff like that, that would make that those symptoms like insanely worse. Because now there actually is something super crazy going on behind the scenes.
Or even on the flip side, they try to make it like so obvious that this is parody and bullshit, but then there's gonna be a group of people who are like, no, this is actually real, and they're just saying it's parody, so that way the Illuminati doesn't come after them. But there's gonna be people like that too, I think, that are that dumb that they take it still serious. Because there is a lot of that. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of like the lizard skin people think that was like a joke that like got morphed into a thing, that there are people that seriously believe that shit.
Yeah.
Or do you want to know? And I again, to add to where I don't know if this was a joke or not. I saw this thing where people were like, "Isn't it interesting how we have these crazy, super smart microchips that like do everything for us, but they're only made in Taiwan, and you can't go in there and record? And oh nope, it's actually aliens." And it like goes more in depth than that. But like, I was just like, they're fucking crazy.
How do you feel about things that with like aliens in past history? Like for instance, do you think that aliens had anything to do with the pyramids?
No, I don't think so. And I think it does a discredit to those people and like the shit they accomplished. Just be like, they were too stupid, they could never. Like, no, I think they probably, there's a lot of lost knowledge out there that like they did shit that we couldn't even comprehend. Like, what was it that they said? Like the Romans, they had a special concrete where like we to this day we haven't figured out.
So we recently had started getting closer with it because we figured out that when they were talking about just water itself, they were actually talking about seawater.
Oh.
And we were using like lake river kind of water, but they were actually talking about seawater.
That probably like with the salt and all of that.
Yeah, it did something.
But yeah, so to my point though, like they might have other technologies that were like, oh, there's no way they could have had it so perfect. Maybe they had something that has been lost to time.
Yeah. Well, and especially when you have so many people being able to dictate like literally their entire life to like one thing, you're going to come out with some badass kind of shit.
Mm-hmm. Right. Or especially, and not even just your lifetime, but like when it's your
generations.
Bloodline.
Yeah.
That's all you do. There's no even thought of doing something different.
Right. And it's like one of the reasons why certain last names are the way they are. Like, for instance, something like Shoemaker. It had to do with like their trades, what their lineage was known for. There was not waking up one day and like, you know what? I'm just going to go pro on Call of Duty and stream all that. It's like, nah, sorry. Your last name is Blacksmith and you have to get in here and make this fucking axe.
Yeah, like, do you think like back in the day if someone was like, Dad, I don't want to be a blacksmith, I want to do this, they just like killed him? They're just like, no.
I need to test out the sword anyway.
Well, no, especially because back then there was no birth control. They're like, fuck it.
That was their birth control.
We're making another one. Yeah.
Well, I remember back in the, like a long time ago, somewhere, I don't know if it was in the U.S. or where exactly it was, but it was common that out in the country, children would walk ahead of tractors. And that was their explosives control because there was like mines wherever like these farms were. So they would have their kids walk in front of it to test the fields for mines because supposedly it was expensive because obviously, you know, farm equipment, especially like a long time ago, was like hella expensive and like, you know, not really even heard of. So it was you can make another kid, but you can't go buy another tractor. Was
So
their thought
my
behind
question
it?
Is, does the kid know they're mine bait, or do they
I think
tell
that
him like?
I think that the mind bait.
Well,
Like, Dad, I don't want to play Minesweeper today. Oh my God, is that where the game comes
yeah,
from?
oh my God.
Dog. Nah.
No, and it's like
What?
No, and it's like Ender's Game. And
Ender's
you're not
Game.
actually playing a video game. You
Oh.
are controlling real life. Oh my God,
Dude.
but yeah. So, and that's not me saying I don't think aliens have ever maybe made contact.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows? But also, it's just back then too. All you had to see was someone with a fucking mutation, and you might think they're a fucking god or fucking something.
And
so,
you would see that in a lot of cases with like India and stuff too. Children being born with like too many limbs. What are you drinking? You got a mullet?
vodka. Yeah,
What is this?
Camaros. It's like I'd say
They made a drink out of one of the coolest cars in the entire world.
and put that guy on it. Yeah.
I mean, the dude with the mullet and the
No,
aviators
you
and the
know what's
mustache,
cool?
that's the Camaro
if you
driver.
buy a full bottle, it has it's a sticker outline of the guy. Like it's a peel off sticker.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't too bad.
And that as I was about to say, I'd say it's like 25% worse than Svedka, but it's like half the price.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's literally only sold. I've only seen it at the liquor store right by my place.
Shout out to the local neighborhood liquor stores.
Yep. They keep people thriving.
There was a time I'd walk to the liquor store across the street from my place, and I was looking at the rum, and then I grabbed something from like the coolers, and I came back and I was like looking at the rum and shit, and I saw this thing, and it had like really no label, but it had like a scan code, and I'm looking at it sitting like the rum. There's only the one bottle. And the owner was like, hey, man, like, just so you know, like, he's like, I know you like your rum, which shows how often I fucking was going there at the time. He was like, that bottle, really, really good, very exclusive. And I was like, fucking bet, bro. You know, it was like, I don't know, $40-$50 like the bottle or something like that. And I was like, fuck it, let me get something new. Dude, the best rum I've ever had in my entire life. I'm pretty sure it was like low-key bootleg, and I've never been able to find the info for it. I've never seen it there ever again. Now, I want to ask the guy, but also I don't want to make him sussed out because of the supply if it's anything, you know, like insider-ish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just had to go in there and just pray one day that there's more bottles. Because here's the thing. I had most of it, and I had some saved, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to save this for a celebration. And then you and I got fucking twisted, and I woke up and that bottle was empty, and I was like, fuck. Well, we enjoyed ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, if anything, I think you could just go in and like peruse, and if you don't find it, just casually ask him.
Just coming with the bottle, like, so what
is
is this? I need my precious, please.
Dude, something I've become super anti on is I hate that like Walmart and like King Soopers and shit sells alcohol of any kind, because it definitely is there to like kill local like liquor store places.
Yeah.
And literally like the Walmart over by my place, the one off of Harlan, they fucking redesigned their whole fucking floor, and now they have a whole section that's just like 2 aisles worth of area that's just for like their liquor and wine and all of that.
What?
And they even they almost got me. So you know how I really like those beat boxes, right?
Yeah.
They came out with a new like Halloween orange like something flavor, and I've only seen it at Walmart, but I refuse to buy it because I don't want to fucking support Walmart selling fucking liquor.
I'll have to go in and buy it.
No, Jared.
That way, you're
Solidarity.
not doing it.
Solidarity. Don't cross the line, you scab.
Look, I still gotta go into these places for the mystery rum and, you know, some of the crowd favorites around here. a little purchase for something they don't even carry. I should just come at the bottom and be like, hey, y'all need to carry this. Do me a favor. I'll stop shopping at Walmart if y'all start carrying this.
Dude, that's the other thing that pisses me off about the liquor store near me is I try to give them advice on certain shit because I'm a trendsetter. Like, no, literally,
right.
I was on
You right?
Box
Yeah.
before it got real popular.
Yeah.
And I was telling them that they need to get these and they need to put them in the fridge because why are you not selling these chilled?
Right.
And then they started fucking blowing up. And then so I stopped getting them because they were always sold out. And then I started getting these Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. And then those started blowing up. And then now every fucking week, by the time it gets to like Thursday, the Baja Blast flavor is sold out. And I keep telling them, I'm like, you need to tell your fucking boss, you need to order just like 20 more to like get you through the fucking week because consistently you guys are running out on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And no one buys the other fucking flavors other than me because I like the Zero Sugar. Like, and I only buy it because I have to. I would rather buy that other one. And they don't listen. And I'm like, that's smart fucking business. Listen to your regular.
Well, and that's how Raw Rolling Papers, the owner and creator, Josh, I can't remember his last name. But he started a smoke shop before he got like into the papers and everything. And that's exactly what he would do. Like people would come in and be like, oh, do you have such and such? No, but we'll have it like in a week or two. And he'd put it on the order list. And he let the community build itself. And there's something beautiful to that too. It's like, yeah, like you can carry like a generic of everything, but then what sets you apart from the Walmart, so to speak? You know what I mean? It's having those things that you know that the people can come through to find where they can't find it anywhere else, especially in the area, that you can then create that bond and that camaraderie.
Right, you know, and especially just as a simple fact, like humans like to feel like they were heard.
Yeah.
So if you're like, no, oh, we don't, but I will do that, and then you get that for you, even if it's less convenient than them just ordering it off like Amazon or fucking something, the fact that you went out of your way to make sure that it came, like, there's a certain specialness to that.
Yeah.
That like will instantly make me a fan of anything. Like if you'll go out of your way to ensure, that instantly makes me want to support you.
Right.
Rather than, bitch, we have it on. If we don't, suck it up. Because that's the flip side. Like, yeah, Walmart has everything, but then when something's popular, it gets sold out, and it's like, sorry, we're sold out. Fuck you. Like, try another store. Have it delivered. Like, no, you're supposed to have it. Like,
Yeah.
that was the one deal. You're supposed to have everything.
Like immediately. And I've had issues with that at some places that I've worked where, like, dude, like I was working at this the spot in the mall, and they had a big, huge thing talking about like their jeans and how they were celebrating their quote unquote low rise era. All right, we'd gotten low rise women's jeans, so like basically they sit a little bit lower on the hips. We got some in for back to school, and then as soon as that little mini season ran out, we no longer got any. But we had this big old banner celebrating it, and we had all these people constantly looking for these baggy, like super, you know, like they wanted the style. We had banners for it, we had signage for it, so how come we don't have it? And then we go online and it's like not even available there all the time, or they'd have to wait and it's like, well, no, I want it now. Fine, that's cool. I'll just go somewhere else and try and figure something out.
Right, yeah. I don't want to fucking wait.
Right, especially when you're advertising it, like we're in our low rise, you know, kind of like thing. Like, bro, how are you gonna be celebrating? That'd be like, hey, yo, like it's Water Week, and then only have soda.
Yeah. Like, no.
Like what?
Yeah, and especially with certain shit like that, a lot of times people come specifically for that thing.
Yeah.
They don't want to be just being like, oh, well, I guess I'll just get this. No.
Right. Now, if it's something that's like it's been really, really popular and it's just been selling out and like you've been getting it and it's just like going crazy, then it's a little bit more like understandable. But if you're just fucking not sending them the thing that's going hard, you're hurting yourselves more than anything else.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, like it's not just getting people in the door.
Right. It's getting them with something out of it.
Exactly. Bad business. Bad business.
What is the worst liquor situation you've ever found yourself in?
What do you mean?
Like one of the like your personal worst like moments of like drinking with people, or even by yourself. Like maybe you got like really sick, or like a situation turned fucking weird.
Usually there's the ones where I've injured myself. Like there was one where my dumbass, I was already drunk, but I was trying to open up another bottle and I couldn't, and my dumbass was like, oh, I'm gonna try to fucking use a knife to fucking break the seal, and I'm already drunk, and I fucking gashed myself.
Ooh.
And so I just wrapped it up or whatever. I was drunk as fuck, so I didn't even pay attention. Woke up the next day, and when I tried taking the wrap off or whatever, I was still bleeding. Like, it wouldn't stop. I went to work with it just wrapped and then keep checking, and every time I would open it up, it would just still keep bleeding. So, like, towards the end, like, 2 hours left of my shift, I went to my uncle, and I was like, I think I need to go to the emergency room for this because it's not sealing or whatever. And by the time I went there, he was like, yeah, you went so long without getting the stitches that they ended up, like, super gluing it more or less, like, back together rather than stitches. And I had to get, like, a certain shot to make sure it wasn't... It was dumb. Ended up costing me over $500 fucking dollars.
Jesus.
Yeah, just for me to open up a fucking bottle. So that one, or the worst, I would say, less injury, having terrible chaser, where, like, I still had more alcohol, but I had no more chaser. I thought it was a good idea to make a protein shake as my chaser, because I had water and I had powder. And that was the most disgusting... Especially because it was whey, so I don't know. It almost tasted like it curdled.
Yeah.
So probably that. How about you?
I think one of the times, I mean, it ended up kind of good, but like I was in a high school. We were celebrating prom. Lots of Fireball.
Oh.
I ended up getting a little sick, but it wasn't like anything crazy. But I was sharing a room with like the homies, and then like the girls had like their own room or whatever. So towards the end of the night, separated, and I was supposed to sleep on the floor, but the homie who had rented the room had this girl in his bed, so they were fucking the entire night. No regard to like me being right there. God. So I was like, all right, fine, fuck this. And then I picked up my stuff and I went into the bathroom. I fell asleep inside the tub. I was like, fuck it. Like, this will fucking work, you know? And then out of nowhere, one of the other homies came in sick as fuck and was puking and like doing his thing all night. So I got like no sleep. And then it was like cold and everything. And then I think I got lit with someone. And then I woke up on the couch in the girl's place with one of my ex-girlfriends.
So it turned out better.
Still weird. But yeah, I think that's one. I think a lot, and like I think like a lot of the times with like some of those things, like I feel like me typically kind of like getting sick or whatever. It's been like, you know, kind of whatever. But usually it's like the environment around me kind of going to shit. People start arguing and fighting and shit like that, you know, or like the parties start going much further than they're supposed to be and shit. Cops get called and people are all fucking, you know, fighting and shit like that. Like, I don't fucking need any of that.
Yeah, no, that definitely will ruin them when it's like an external factor. It's not even something you did.
Yeah.
So it's never the alcohol that did you dirty. It was the environment.
Yeah. Although, there was one time, me and Logan went to go have a Logan night. This was kind of recently. And we were hanging out. We started off, like, we were just like going to be bar hopping and whatever. And we were at this, like, cigar bar. And, you know, we were talking, making amends and shit like that. And we're walking on an adventure. And he was like, hey, like, you know, we're bar hopping. You cool for, like, a Logan night? And I was like, well, you know, like, what does that entail? And I was like, oh, let's just, you know, go get lit at different bars. Like, you know, it was rule, like, you know, no drugs, no strip clubs, stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, like, you know, I'm down, let's hang out. And the night was going cool. We were having a good time. I was doing little shots, you know, having little drinks, stuff like that. We got some food, so I was feeling good. And then we went to this bar. And the only people who were in this bar was like some girl that the homie was talking to, the bartender, maybe like a guy. I go into use the restroom. I come out and he's like, hey, yo, I got shots for you. And he bought them for the chick he was talking to, himself, and then me. So I was like, cool. And it was just clear. So I just assumed it was like regular vodka, right? I take the shot and it was like some spicy ass shit. Like spicy ass shit. And I was not expecting it. So it fucked me up.
Unexpected spices.
So next thing I know, I have to go puke in the bathroom because it fucking fucked me up, you know? After that, I was fucking gone, bro. I was just fine beforehand, but that shot with like the spiciness and like puking some stuff up, fucking gone, dude. So then I was like a little in and out of it. I remember we were in some bar And then I walked up and like went to like the restroom, and then we walked out of like some other bar, and then it was snowing and shit. So then next thing I know, like we're going to like this other bar, and he's like my homie's like on the phone with like someone or whatever, and I'm like, what's going on? And the next thing I know, I'm like sitting down and like we're chit chatting, we're looking for someone else that we're like looking to like connect to, and he gets up and he leaves, and I'm sitting there and like I'm chilling, and like I couldn't like distill the music. I thought I had my glasses on, but everything was like blurry, you know. And I'm looking around. I'm like, this is like a weird ass little spot. Like I've never been here before. Like what the fuck is this? And some chick comes up. She's like trying to talk to me. I'm like, can I just get like a water, you know, whatever. So she comes back with like the water, leaves, and like these chicks are talking to me, and then I'm like, okay, and like, you know, I'm just trying to like exist and figure out where the fuck I am right now, because I'm trash, bro. And then I'm looking around. And I start to piece together, and I'm like, wait a second. All these women are naked. And I'm looking around, and I see some dude chilling. He kind of waves at me, and I like wave at him. And I'm like, I think I know him. Is that the dude we're looking for? But I don't know. And I'm looking around, and then all of a sudden it hits me. I'm like, I'm in a fucking strip club right now. I was like, wait a second. Our rule was that we weren't going to be hitting in strip clubs. And I was like, I don't feel good. I got to go. So I fucking get up out of the bar, I fucking stumble out and everything, realize I don't have my glasses on me. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense why everything looks like an old VHS movie. And I'm outside and it's snowing and everything. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm hanging out there for a moment, and then Logan calls me and he's like, hey, bro, like, where'd you go? I'm like, oh, sorry, bro, like, I had to go. And he was like, oh, man, like an Irish goodbye. Hey, all is good, man. I'm like, yeah, sorry. He's like, no, man, it's all good. Like, have a good night. Be safe out there. You got a ride? And I was like, yeah, I got something. He was like, okay, cool. He was like, you know, I'll see you later or whatever. And I was like, all right, bet. And then I'm standing outside in the cold for a little bit, and I was like, oh, yeah, I should probably, like, try and call someone. So I call my girlfriend, and I'm feeling bad because it's, like, snowing and shit like that, and she had just fallen, hello? And I'm like, hey, babe, would you mind picking me up from over here? So we're in the Jeep, and I'm standing outside, and I had ran out of nowhere, like across the street. I slipped and I fell, got back up, and started, you know, ran across the street. And then I'm like, I'm so lit that I forgot why I ran. I still have no idea. Maybe the bouncer said something like, hey, bro, like, you can't just be outside, like, the spot or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm standing there, and I'm like, well, I can't just look like I'm just standing on this corner, because that's going to be, like, weird. So I go to smoke a cigarette. I didn't have a lighter. And I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting. And I finally I crawl in the Jeep, and she's all like, hey, like, you okay? Like, what's going on? And I start crying, bro. Like, I'm so sorry for having you come and pick me up. And I know I probably smell like cigars, and we're at the strip club, and I made you come in the snow, and I'm so sorry. She's like, babe, like, it's okay. Like, just don't puke in my Jeep. We get into the house, and apparently I like stumble up into bed, and then I take up the entire bed, like starfish that bitch. So leaving no room left in the bed. And I woke up with the worst hangover I had in either the longest time or possibly even ever. And I was sitting there, I was like, never again.
Yeah, so
no.
Never no spicy pickle shots for Jared.
Nah, dude. No.
I'm just, in general, I don't like spice in my
alcohol. It's not enjoyable, especially without like a heads up. Like if I had been warned, then maybe I could have like prepared myself and be like, oh hey, let me get something else. Like I'll pay for another round or whatever, try and like make it even, you know. But not, because we had done a scorpion shot with like a little fucking scorpion insect beforehand. Like that was cool. Chewed that shit up, tastes like sunflowers and alcohol. Loved it. Was good to go. Had fucking schnapps before then. Drank that down. I knew it was schnapps. I knew what to expect. Downed it. Was good to go. I don't know, man. Yeah, once I had that spicy shit and I puked that shit out, not good. Not good at all.
I still have to get you to try Malort.
If you can find some, I'm down.
It was at your liquor store over here.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only place I've seen it.
All right, we need a Malort night.
No, but when we do it, we got to do it when we get Alex to do the blind taste test of all the beers.
Oh.
And then the last one we're not going to tell him is just going to be a shot of Malort. Because I'm evil like that.
Put it in like a Coors can or something that he's drank, like, you know, before he has no idea, or whatever glass we're using.
Yeah, all we got to do is for the blind taste test is you just get a box that you cut holes in for the straws.
Yeah.
And so he won't even see. It'll just be a straw into a shot of Malort.
Oh my god, we might just have to.
I'll make him have trust issues. I baited him last time we were over at my mom's. I think Bob, they had Carolina Reaper peppers, and like it should be obvious that it's a very spicy pepper because it's like a brightly colored, very shriveled up pepper. Like that's the telltale signs that something spicy as fuck. And my brother Nahum showed it to Alex and was just like, "Oh yeah, look at this pepper." And I was like, "You a bitch, you won't eat it." And then he fucking popped that, and oh my god, he was in fucking tears. Like, my mom got mad at me and was like, "You're mean." I'm like, he ate it. I didn't fucking make him eat it. He's the dumbass. No, and then I at least was nice enough to give him good advice. I'm like, go wash your hands like 30 fucking times.
Yeah.
Because did I ever tell you about that time with the pepper where so my uncle hooked me up with a bunch of like Carolina Reapers and a bunch of spicy ass peppers, and what I was doing is I was chopping them up and I was throwing them on my homemade like flatbread pizzas just to add like because all you need is a single pepper on a whole ass pizza, you get some real kick from it, and I washed my hands and everything. But here's the thing I didn't realize: when you're dealing with like those kind of peppers, especially if you're like cutting them and everything, you basically have to wear gloves because they secrete oil when you cut them. And so that shit fucking seeps into your fucking shit. And so later that night, I'm like laying in bed or whatever, and it's getting kind of late and it's tired, and like I yawn or whatever, and I go to fucking wipe my eye, and fucking I guess some of the residue was still on it. And dude, I thought I was gonna have to go to the fucking ER, like because shit. It fucking hurt so bad, and I couldn't open that eye, and I had to like rinse it out in water for like 20 minutes straight. And I'm like, and I'm really glad I did that first because I was about to jerk it. So like, imagine. Yeah, I had to do switch hand that night just to be safe. Good thing I'm ambidextrous. But yeah, spicy peppers are no fucking
Spicy
joke.
peppers are no fun. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first. Be careful with them peppers. Jesus Christ.
Yo, completely unrelated.
Oh no.
Shift.
Oh no.
Did you hear? So apparently Russia, because they're homies with North Korea, they got North Korea to like send them some troops or whatever, like on the reserve to help them and all of that. And these men, this is the first time they've had access to like unrestricted internet, and they are all now massively addicted to porn. No, imagine, no. Could you imagine? You go your whole life like
I have no idea.
You're your age right now,
right?
And like you haven't even seen a fucking titty, like all that shit's censored. You can't even see a penis without it fucking being blocked out or whatever. And then you get unfettered access to all the porn you can access now.
How quickly do you think that it took for them to like find it? Like the ratio of like looking for it / like not looking for it and found it. Because like if you're on like Twitter or X or whatever the fuck they're calling it, like it's right there in the comments. You scroll down like 3. I mean, shoot, even some like the movies and the commercials, even just things that are like regular around as compared to like what I'm like. It sounds like it's allowed like on North Korea. Way different.
So it's so
way
ridiculous.
Different. Yeah.
Which also, other side note with that, I'm tired of this fucking weird fake fucking purity culture shit where so people are all pissed because Sabrina Carpenter like pantomimed giving a blowjob or something during one of her shows, and she's like, this is a former Disney star and this is what she does, whatever. I'm like, we just elected a president who literally was doing that fucking at one of his rallies.
Yeah.
Like, why do we care about this?
Well, like the Disney thing is so like weird because like once you're an adult, you really typically want to like get as far away from all of that as possible.
Exactly.
Like, and like yeah, like just because they're like on Disney doesn't mean fucking anything. It's like when it's former, especially.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
currently, if like in a kid's show, okay, like I can see it. You know, I don't want Elmo doing the fucking air hump in a fucking thing. But formerly, just like once they're formerly, that's like, you know, me doing something like, oh, like you know, someone doing something like, oh, like formerly Walmart employee, like how dare they? And it's like, oh, bitch, I don't work there anymore.
Exactly.
Like,
But to answer your question, I give it 2 days before they fucking, not even intentionally, start to stumble upon it. And then from there, word of mouth would spread like the fucking plague. That'd be my theory.
Yeah.
Because, like, no, Twitter, which is what I'm calling it. Do not call it X ever. Do not fucking cave like that. Fuck that. But, it's ridiculous. Like, and it used to be, like, you would only get that shit if it was, like, your algorithm, like, you're interacting with it. Like, it's gotten to the point now where it's in everything. Like, just in the comments. Like, someone could have a comment being like, oh, I really love my egg sunny side up. And then in the comments, someone will be like, come check out my OnlyFans or whatever. And be a chick where her tits are covered just with a fucking egg. Or fucking something. It's ridiculous.
How's this for sunny side
and then on
up?
top of it, because now...
You want to scramble my eggs?
Now motherfuckers can monetize their tweets or whatever. They literally will get paid off by these OnlyFans bots or whatever, where they'll post a thing where it's like, not safe for work thread, blah, 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 or whatever. And then it's a regular, like, normally they post memes or whatever, and it's just them interacting with every fucking OnlyFans account. Like, it's absurd. It's really obnoxious, really. Like, it's made it to the point where I'm like, I'm not interested in any of y'all bitches. Like, it's so crazy how back in the day, like, when I was on Facebook and everything, and my main thing, I used to fucking thirst follow, like, random fucking, super hot chicks, or I used to horny post, like, if there was a really hot fucking goth chick, I would fucking repost it. I cringe at that now. Now I'm just like, no, this is gross. I don't want to see it. Like, I only want to see fucking sexy shit when I'm looking for fucking sexy shit.
Yeah. You don't want it the responsibility thrusted upon you, so to speak.
Right.
So to speak.
No, and then which also I want to talk to you about this and what your thought is. So ever since Trump won, there's a hell of motherfuckers that are trying to abandon ship on Twitter, especially because Elon's just gotten even more annoying. I ended up just muting his whole account, but especially he changed the block feature to where now if you're blocked, you can still view all of the person's shit. You just can't comment or interact with it.
Oh, so you can still hate watch?
Well, and then also, if someone blocks you because you're fucking a stalker, you can stalk all of their fucking shit. Mm-hmm. So because of all of that, so there's this new wannabe, like, Twitter clone called Blue Sky.
I heard of Blue Sky.
Yeah, and so everyone's fucking, like, merging over there and stuff, and like, oh, it's so much better over there, blah blah blah. But here's my issue, because I've even pondered, like, because I do get sick of, like, beyond even the porn shit, like, there is just, like, so much racist, like, blatant fucking shit on Twitter now, where it's like, it's gross. It really is, like, and it's just the most blatant fucking, like, oh, see, black people aren't intelligent, or oh, see, clearly the Jews did all of this, like, the most absurd. And all the comments are like, yep, you're right, this is weird, and it's gross. So over there, they don't allow any of that. But here's the thing, makes me not want to go over there. Because then it's just a complete echo chamber where it's just all, like, puritanical, like, you'll get banned over there for saying the word retard or fucking whatever. And I don't think it needs to be to that extreme. Like, weirdly, hot take, the internet needs to be at least a little toxic. Because there's checks and balances.
It's like the dark and the light.
Right, yeah. And so that's made me, like, not want to... And it's funny, because I've seen so many people, like, ever since be like, oh, I'm leaving a Blue Sky. And already, because I noticed, because a lot of people are deleting their Twitter or whatever, so my follower account went down, like, 10, 20 people. It's already gone up +5 in, like, the past 2 weeks, because the issue, everyone always tries to leave, and then they immediately come back, because Twitter's still the best, even with how shitty it is. Just because it's already been deemed, like... what's it called? The not town hall, but, like, the town place of the people, like
the town square.
Yeah, town square. Yeah, of the modern age, because, like, that's where, like, you can get the everyday man's perspective on shit. And, like, so you try to make these offshoots, but when they're so, like, leaned one way, it just feels like echo chambery.
Yeah. Well, and it's tough because either way, there's no real good conversation coming up out of it.
Right, yeah, because I don't want it to just be all people who only agree with me 100% of the time.
Right.
Like I want there to be discourse. I like hearing wild shit sometimes. And also, it's
Yeah.
fun to dunk on people when they're idiots.
And to have like an actual conversation about things.
Yeah,
Hear different sides and shit.
that honestly doesn't happen a lot on Twitter.
No, exactly. And I'm not saying that Twitter is a place for healthy conversation, let alone in a reasonable dispute.
Yeah, like I wouldn't still be in the Kendrick community if it wasn't for the fact that I was able to get some of these updates on shit, because that shit gets absurd.
Yeah, I've had to leave a couple different like artist communities, like because of things that like people were posting, or like some of the things like being asked, like, well, I don't know, and some of it's me too. Like for instance, people were talking on I don't one of the two fucking feeds about Tyler the Creator and like Mac Miller, because they were all like, oh, like why did, because so Balloonerism by Mac Miller is coming out in January, which I'm fucking hyped for. And they premiered the preview video for it over on Flogna, and
Love that.
and I love that. And I guess for some of it's me, because I've been around for the whole up and down, or not even up and down, but like the whole ride for like these parties, you know. Yeah, I'll take another sip.
But was it like toxic comparison kind
No,
of shit?
it wasn't like a toxic comparison. It just it was just morely me getting my heart broken just a little bit, because people were trying to piece together why Tyler the Creator was showcasing something from Mac Miller during Flogna. And so I guess it broke my heart in this instant, because they don't realize the legacy of that the two of them have together. Like Mac Miller was like an unofficial member of Odd Future Wolfgang, like for instance, and that Tyler the Creator like was like on songs with Mac Miller, and like, you know, vice versa, and like how much time like they'd spend together, how much in like regards they held like their friendship together, and that like Tyler the Creator made the intro to Good AM. Like he made that song, and like being in and out of these camps, and like the work that Mac Miller and Earl Sweatshirt has made, and like how close Schoolboy Q and like Mac Miller were. And it breaks my heart to have, and I get it, because like a lot of it's like newer fans, because of like, you know, the newer work that Mac Miller had put out, and it's beautiful to see. Like I'm super happy like this like new chorus. It just hurt my heart a little bit to see how much of these things were not known now, if that makes sense. And then beyond that, I've had to leave other communities because like small rumors like popped up and was just taken out of wild like leaps with like the judgment and stuff like that, and like starting to throw like all this crazy stuff around. I was like, hold on, like you don't even have any real basis. Like someone just said something who had nothing to do with like anything else, and was like kind of vaguely even related to that, and then people just like took a bunch of steps and like assumed stuff.
Right, yeah, no,
you
they
know,
were doing
like,
that when Tyler had that first, I think it was for Noid, when he dropped just a snippet where it was like just his verse or whatever, and they were like, oh yeah, Kendrick's gonna be on this song and blah blah blah, and it's like,
right,
yo, not everything has to be about Kendrick. Like if he's on the album, cool. If he's not, he's not. And like, why do we have to speculate and make it all about that when why can't we just celebrate what this artist is doing? Which I can't believe we skipped over this when we talk about Tyler. I want to talk a little about Flogna, because that shit was masterful. So first off, did you know how he announced the set list?
I don't recall.
So basically, they put out on their website a crossword puzzle.
Oh yeah.
And so it gave hints that for the most part, most of them were like, if you were a fan of that artist, you immediately would be like, oh, that's who it is. And so I love that. That was like super fun and creative to like get people to check it out, just to like try to do the game of figure out which each artist is or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that built hype. And then also, so on top of the Mac Miller thing, some other notable things, the MF Doom tribute. They did an hour-long thing. That was so fucking dope.
Oh yeah, and that was another thing. I wonder how much MF Doom played into Tyler's new album. Mostly like in the thing of like the mask kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean it might just be, you know, kind of coincidence, but it also could be, you know, a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that is cool. I didn't even consider that aspect. That is interesting. But I love that they did that. It's funny to look at it now with the Kendrick shit, but DJ Mustard had a fucking great set there where at one point he was playing a song that had a Drake verse or whatever, and right before it got to the Drake verse, he went, psych, and then threw on Like That. So that was fucking great.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what else that I really thought was notable. Other than, of course, Tyler fucking going crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he brought out Doichi. She fucking killed. Dude,
Really?
She is a real fucking star.
Bro.
Like, I think she's really going to blow up as the next female artist, like, to make it big. Because she has that, like, stage presence along with the dope lyrics, along with the dope flow. Like, she's got the trifecta.
Yeah.
And she's not bad to look at.
That helps.
Like, she even made a joke afterwards, after, like, video, like, started going viral. She was like, why did anyone tell me I was in my underwear? Because she was in, like, some shorts. It might have actually just been underwear, like, men's boxers type of fucking thing. So that was funny, but it was just like, bitch, you knew what you were wearing. But, yeah, I think she's going to do phenomenal with her tour. That's someone who I would definitely want to see live. Like, there are certain artists that, like, you have to see live to fully appreciate, you know?
Well, shit, she probably puts on a really good show, too.
Yeah, she clearly, like, just to show up on the festival and, like, have that energy, like, that's something you have to work on. That's not something you just roll out of bed and fucking do. So I think she's gonna do great. Ice Spice lost her ass. That's depressing.
Is that why? I don't know, because I saw a thing. I try not to keep up with gossip stuff, but I saw a blurb saying that Ice Spice lost like a ton of followers somewhere, someday, or something like that.
She lost like over 2 million. Well, it was because that, and also like some shit got leaked confirming that like she was like shit talking Nicki, and a lot of her fans were Barbs and all of that. So like that was a part of it.
Hadn't they done work together too?
No, they have. No, and her shit talking wasn't even really that bad. It was literally her like venting to a friend about like how Nicki's like trying to control shit and try to like big sis her, even though like she was popping before Nicki. It wasn't like Nicki fucking put her on. It definitely helped, but like So I honestly don't think it was that bad. It was just that it leaked, and it doesn't look good when you're an up and coming artist and you are seeming disgrateful or ungrateful. Sorry, for a legend. Which no matter how you feel about Nicki, we got to be honest. Biggest fucking female hip hop artist of all time.
Yeah, and she's fucking crazy, like in a good way.
Well, no, especially like she does a lot of like the voice inflection kind of type shit that Kendrick does.
Yeah,
and for some reason she gets like made fun of for that, and I don't get that. Like I like when artists do shit like that. Like, yeah, sometimes it's funny, definitely, but
sometimes it's also meant to be funny.
Yeah, like mustard. I can't every time. It's the best thing ever. Like, if MySpace was still a thing, would be my little sound thing when you come to my page.
Just that clip, dude. Nothing the rest of the song.
Yeah, just that.
We need to do a bunch of skits of you, like, forcing that into, like, conversation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like you're at, like, Subway or whatever, like, you're doing the thing, and then, like, it comes to the conversation, and you're just like, oh, yeah, I really like the sandwiches with mustard.
No. And it gets more and more forced. Like, at one point, someone's like, do you want any fruit in your cereal? And I'm just, mustard! Like the Kool-Aid man, I just, like, break.
Squirting mustard all inside of the motherfucking breakfast and shit.
Another one where it's like a porno scene or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, baby, give me all your mustard. Dude, if we did that, we could make a TikTok that would get 100,000 followers quick.
Easily.
Just off that alone, I swear.
I know what we're doing this next weekend. Oh shit! You got anything else for the people?
Anything else? Get all your vaccinations before Trump gets in office. That's about it. Stay safe out there.
Drink-
Love your neighbor.
Drink mustard.
No, don't do that. That's probably terrible for your health.
They're all doing shots of it.
Oh, no. To put pressure on you. December 10th.
December 10th.
Peep what Jay's got.
December 10th.
Bazooka shit.
Bazooka shit! Good day, gang!
All day, every day, baby.
Love you, Dom.
Love you, Jay.
Peace!
Hell yeah.